show, and it will be a show that you have all been waiting for. We are going to mix truth, the actual truth of what's going on in today's world, into television programming, which always, if you go back through history, is always 20 to 40 or 50 years more advanced than what is occurring in the world. And one example of that would be Star Trek. A lot of the technology that you see in Star Trek from 1966 that Gene Roddenberry supposedly thought up out of his imagination was not actually Gene Roddenberry's imagination. A lot of that technology was either things that they were working on in laboratories underground and or above ground, or things they had already done. Certainly things they knew about were possible. So the technology of invisibility, for instance, where they have the ability to cloak themselves, the Klingons, right? Well, that technology, I don't know. I heard stories that technology has been accomplished. Now, some of you people out there might know more about it than me, but that technology was being worked on back then. Another technology that was being worked on during the original days of Star Trek was the transporter system. Now, you can believe what you want. I'm going to give you some names. I'm going to give you some people, and I'm going to tell you how I knew them. So let me first start off with what I'm going to say for the next few minutes is true and correct. What I'm going to also prove that they are doing things now that was taught on Star Trek. Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff on Star Trek was supposedly futuristic, but in reality, the transporter system that they were working with in Star Trek, the original series, 1960. So Gene Roddenberry did not come up with transporter technology from his imagination. He got that information from a much more loosely knit governmental operations systems or people that worked for the government. The lips were a lot looser back then. So another technology from Star Trek was computers that spoke to you and you could ask them questions. And now we have those computers. But you need to understand that when I went to high school in the year, from 1969 to 1973, computers were already in existence. However, when I met which astronaut did I meet? The one that supposedly tells the truth about seeing a spaceship around his flight to the moon. One of those guys. He also has a website on UFOs. Gene Cernan, astronaut Gene Cernan. I actually shook his hand. He actually signed a book. One of two people I asked for an autograph in my whole life. So when I met him, he was in aviation high school where I graduated from, and he was giving a seminar to recruit people to either go into the Air Force or science technologies to work for NASA. And he was trying to get the best and the brightest to become members of NASA at the time. So he said, astronaut Gene Cernan said that a computer back then was the size of the auditorium. I think the auditorium held 700 students. He said that the computers back then were the size of the auditorium, but in the future, just as an example, that same amount of bulbs and circuits that were needed, the computers were in existence too, the size of the auditorium that held 700 people. and the auditorium ceilings were over 30 feet high. The same computer that they had in existence that they were using for NASA back in 1973 would be the size of a dunghill. Now that's true. That man was at Aviation High School in probably, it could have been 72, it might have been 73. I remember I was on guard duty. We had the honor guard where you would have like a hallway monitor, and I was stationed at the escalator at the main entrance to the school. I even have a picture of it somewhere, but I don't know where that picture is. Whoa, Scott Del Fuego says, less quality in your picture tonight. Luckily, a clear picture isn't necessary to focus on clear message of the revelation of Mr. Fazio brings. Listen closely as the secrets of the ruling beings are revealed. Well, thank you very much. The wordsmith is in the house. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut off. I'm going to shut down I'm going to shut down the live stream from my home page on Google. Maybe that'll clear up the picture. Julia Locator, welcome back to the machine. Julia Locator, Salama, thank you for stopping by. And a mounting flying kiss. Oh, baby. We have the ladies gathering, which is going to be something I wanted to talk about, how the ladies are starting to enjoy the shows from different men on the internet. So thank you, Julia, for the flying kiss, baby. Salamat. Big E and Sabu. Big computer. A Big E would confirm what I said about the computer and how big they were. The tubes, I had a garage, and I mean a garage, a 16-foot wide garage by 24-foot deep, 8 feet high, full of bulbs from every possible configuration of television and radio. It was owned by a man named Hank, and he was a television repair. I don't know. Michael, I guess I could say his name. I'll think about whether or not I want to say Hank's name, and he gave them to me. He said, "Here, Michael, these are going to be worth a lot of money." Some of the tubes, they were all in the original boxes from the original company, Sylvania, GE, and some of the boxes were like this big. And when you opened up the box, there was a glass transistorized tube about this big in the box, and it had metal plates in it, and it had wires running through it. And I took, I don't know, I only took a dozen or so of the boxes because my father said I can't have them. He said they're never going to be worth anything. It's junk. Well, to tell you what, if those tubes in the boxes that Hank Davino, D-A-V-I-N-O, Hank Davino gave me, if those tubes were in anybody's possession right now, you would be an instant millionaire, just putting the lot up on eBay. So and there were millions of these tubes that created one computer. So Big E can confirm that because he has the degrees in science and engineering to prove that. So Chi Corsairs, welcome to the machine. Shout out to Chi Corsairs. Chi meaning energy. She is the Filipina energy of the Philippines. And if you'll notice, everybody is trying to usurp Chi's energy. Everybody, not myself or Big E, or even Kevin, but everybody else. I'm getting comments in my spam folder, by the way, that if you listen to Chi Corsairs, if you listen to the Chi Corsairs show, you're siding with Satan. Okay. Okay? Now, come on now, think about that. The girl isn't doing anything wrong. She's just trying to earn a living. And she does that. But why go to the extreme that Che Corsairs, the nature of Che Corsairs is satanic? I mean, isn't that a little bit extremist? Now, you might be jealous of her success, but satanic she's not, in my opinion. However, we're gonna talk about Satan. We're gonna talk about Satan, and Satan is a real energy. It's a real force, and many of the people on YouTube have been usurped by the energy of Satan. Many, not just a few. Big E sent me a transcript of something this morning with one of the jealous people, the little people. One of the jealous people said, Michael Fazio has cancer. After he said, Michael Fazio is dying. Come on now. Now, don't you think that's a little bit extreme to say that in public, in a public venue where it could be copied and pasted? I mean, don't you think, I could tell you, the guy has half of, I won't tell you his name, but he does not live in the Philippines. That much I will tell you. So if he doesn't live in the Philippines and he is saying stuff like that, and he is in fact trolling, then you should be able to figure out who it is. But don't you think that's a little bit extreme, a little bit satanic in nature, where a person's consciousness or lack of thereof, consciousness, would allow that person to post something like that? So here's what would have to happen in order for somebody, the ultimate, let's call him the ultimate troll. Let's say that the ultimate troll had inside information as to the my health, okay, which he does not, because I don't communicate with that man. So, and I told him that, which I did not, because I don't communicate with him. In fact, I've never even seen, I did go to the man's channel. I did go there maybe 5 or 6 times in the last 3 weeks, and all I see is just one video, and I've seen that video already. So every post and every video that he makes, he puts up and takes down. So all I hear is what he said, and or screenshots of what he posts in other people's live chats or whatever. Wherever he's posting this crap, people send me what he said. They copy the comment. I don't really care, because in order for him to know that I'm dying or that I have cancer, it would have to come from me or the doctor. Or now we're going to go out on a limb here, like Shirley MacLaine, out on a limb, spiritual things. Or he's psychic, and he's not psychic, okay? He doesn't have the clarity of mind to be psychic. So the only other place that he could get the information from, not from myself and not from a psychic ability, because his mind has no clarity to it, then he would have to be receiving this information from what we call the dark side. So, and in order to say something so vile, he would have to affiliate himself somehow with the dark side. Now, it could be through alcohol, or it could be through lack of education, or it could just be jealousy. So those, you got to remember, the 7 deadly sins are jealousy, wanton murder, jealousy, wanton murder, jealousy, wanton murder, and jealousy. Those are the 7 deadly sins. So that person, in order for him to say something so vile, and especially that he's in America talking stuff like this, would goes to show that he doesn't know me. He has no access to any medical records, because I have none except for the injury on my foot. And he has to be getting this information from something. So when he goes into these psychotic breaks via alcoholism or possibly a combination of alcohol and other things, when he goes into these psychotic breaks, the same thing I tried to teach you about meditation. When you allow drugs or alcohol, which is a powerful drug, if you allow that to take over your mind, then your mind becomes weak and you become susceptible to the negative energies in the universe. And that's what happened, in my opinion, about that guy. So I really don't pay much attention to him. If I didn't get that message, I wouldn't have known about that. Julia Locator is waving to Chi Corsairs. Salamat. Hi, Julia Locator from Scott Del Fuego. Now, Scott is a really good man, Julia. And Julia is dating a man named Serge, who I've seen on other people's channels. So I try to give a little background, whatever I can. That's not too much. Greg Emerson says, Michigan is in the house. Now, there is a place that I loved. I loved to live in Michigan. I loved living there for the few years that I did. What I liked about Michigan was, let me tell you where I lived. I'll give you just a brief thing. Greg Emerson. So I bought 6 acres of land backed up against state land right off outside of Traverse City in Holiday Hills, and my backyard was 55,000 acres of land because my land was backed up against state land. No one wanted the parcel I was on because it had the high power lines coming directly through my property, and everybody said they caused electromagnetic frequencies. But I did live there on and off for a couple of years, and that place was really nice to live. I mean, we had cougar, bear, bobcat, deer, moose, elk. We had everything right in my backyard. I just would look out the cabin, and that would be the end of it. And then I had a neighbor who had a house there, a regular house, and he was an avid hunter. He was an avid hunter. Now, and all you had to do to get your food supply for the winter was just, walk out on your porch, because this was wilderness where I lived. If you look at the map, Greg, it's between Traverse City and Holiday Hills. It was a bum nowhere place. It was on a dirt road. And I looked at the aerial map because I was flying ultralights out of from upwards near Traverse City, and I looked at an aerial view and I said, "What is back over here?" I said, "This is Holiday Hills, Traverse City, dirt road. They're going to build a road there one day." So I bought that property, and within a few years, it became very valuable. So I loved living there. Thanks for stopping by, Greg. So I'm going to go back to the satanic possession and possibility that exists. Okay, Greg Emerson. Greg Emerson has been following the Michael Fazio dead rumors already. Haven't we had enough? LOL. Charles, that's a good question. We'll get to that in a moment. And so we have people communicating back and forth. Greg Emerson, thank you for stopping by from Michigan. And then, of course, if you know anything about Traverse City, Greg, after they put that AIDS hospital in there, it was the ghost town for normal people. So I sold my property right after that. And then Charles says, why does the angry guy say fat people live less when smoking takes 10 years off your life? Well, again, that leads to small IQ, small hands, small feet. Small IQ means you use small gloves and small shoes, and small IQ. So it's his inability to comprehend reality. Whatever reality is to him, it's different for him than it is for me. Now, if you looked at my post, you're going to see I'm going to talk about reality based on a television series called Battlestar Galactica. Now, some people are going to say that's crazy, and it is. But in the beginning of this live stream, I explained to you how the media, how the governments of the world, how they show you the future. And Battlestar Galactica, just like Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, was telling you about the future. But in Gene Roddenberry's series, he never even dared go as far as Battlestar Galactica went in the last few episodes. The last few episodes of Battlestar Galactica were probably the most prophetic episodes in television history. And I will tell you why in a moment. So let me finish reading the comments, and then we'll go to Battlestar Galactica. But then we also, don't forget now, we also have to talk about how Steve Montelli is completely nuts. Oh, did I hear nuts? Steve Montelli is nuts. Mr. Obama, you heard it. Steve Montelli is a nutcase. He's nuts. Can I talk to Steve? Not here, Mr. Obama. I'll take Steve over there. I'll take Steve. You want to go talk to Steve? Not Steve, but I have something I want to do. So you want to go diving? No, I don't want to go swimming with you. You put 60 pounds of lead weight on me, and you threw me in the ocean. You did that to me, Fazio. Mr. Fazio, you did that to me. All right, Mr. Obama, you do what you got to do. I'm doing it. I already started. I'm doing it now. Ooh. Mr. Obama's loving Steve Montelli's. The fact that Steve Montelli is completely nuts, he loves that. So, Battlestar Galactica is, I'm not even kidding about this. It's one of the most prophetic TV series because you'd have to understand what you don't know, what they're not telling you. The governments of the world, the Vatican, the religious institutions, the politicians, the archaeologists, the Smithsonian Institute. You have to understand what they're not telling you about the past, the ancient history of this flat plane we live on. What they're not telling you is what's about to happen again. It's not something that's going to happen. It's going to happen again. It's happened before. And that's the premise of the last several episodes of Battlestar Galactica, where Guyan discovers that the end of civilization, the end of everything, only leads to the beginning of the next evolution of peoples, and he is the parent of that next evolution. Him and that tall, thin, blonde-headed woman. I don't remember her name, but so the whole thing builds up to with all total destruction of everything in the universe, but that leads to a new beginning. So what they're not telling you, what the Smithsonian Institute, what the architects, archaeologists, and what the Vatican, and what the Protestants, and what the Illuminati, and the Masons, what they're not telling you is what's about to happen has happened before. So you have to understand the principles of the Masonic Brotherhood and or of the Illuminati and how far it goes back. So one of the principles is that they have to tell you what's going to happen in advance. I don't know why that rule exists. I have no idea. It might be some sort of universal rule. It might be something that they made up and they do it anyway because they know you can't do anything about it. But what's going on right now, according to historical records, and we'll talk about the satanic entities that control the Vatican first. What's going on right now is that the largest and most vast accumulation of ancient knowledge is probably stored in the tombs under the Vatican. So when I was learning about what was under the Vatican, I learned that there are scholars constantly scouring documents from even as far back as Rhodes, the Rhodes scholars, where they studied in the Library of Alexandria. But the records date back 50,000 years on things that they've never shown you. And the monoliths and massive structures that were built that date back 50,000 years, more than that. Some of them date, well, first of all, they'll never tell you how old some of these things are, but some of them could be upwards of 100 or 200,000 years old. And when you hear about these things, the archaeologists say, oh, no, that's a natural formation. You know, like steps in the side of a mountain that goes on for 10 miles. That looks like it was quarried. And it was 100,000 years ago. Or when they tell you that there were skeletons that were 30 feet tall, and then Smithsonian Institute buys every skeleton in the whole world that they can, even though they've been found in every country, in every place, all over the flat plane. I almost said globe. All over the world. Say what you want. They've been found in every part of the earth. And going back several hundred years, there's skeletal remains. So what? So something put millions of skeletons up to from between 8 and 36 feet in the ground? Really? And buried them in tombs and put rocks in front of the tombs and the skeletons are in perfect condition? Really? Really, you believe that nonsense? That somebody made all of that stuff and then buried it for 500 years? You people are stone stupid, you know. And I'm not even being facetious. I'm being serious. So this is what you're not being told. That civilizations that have existed before our civilization have been higher technology than we have today. Now, I always use why do you think they put the pyramid on the dollar bill? That was a remnant left over from a higher race, and a leftover remnant people. Okay, somebody's, let's see what we got here. Oh, Scott the Fuego says, is your governor allowing you to watch YouTube? Okay, I think he's talking to Greg. So, yeah, I heard that they're now, well, look, off topic for a moment. They are censoring my channel beyond any comprehension. Nobody could comprehend that I have 20,000 subscribers, and right now I have 7, 12, 13 people here. Really? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. My channel is the most censored channel in all of YouTube. In all of YouTube. Nobody comes close. Nobody could possibly have 20,000 subscribers during the lockdown and get 12 people watching. Especially when the people that have been my subscribers have been my subscribers for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Okay? So if you don't think that the government, see, what happened was, let me tell you what happened. A few weeks ago, I was getting 26 to 30 people on my live streams. You get some schmuck, and I mean schmuck, not schmuck is jelly, some dirtbag schmuck with 1,500 subscribers. He's going to get 100 or 80 or 70 or 60 people to come to his live stream and talk about bullshit. You get me, who actually puts out a decent editorial and or comprehensive take on reality, and I have 12 people here on a Thursday night when everybody in the whole world is on lockdown, and I only have 12, 13 people here in the house. You people are stone stupid to believe that's even possible. 99.7% of my subscriber base. Did they not notice? And if they didn't get a notice, why didn't they get a notice? Now, you'll some dirtbag, jealous bloggers say, oh, they don't go to your channel because your content sucks. Well, okay, I'll go along with that. 5% of my subscribers won't like what I'm talking about. What happened to the other 95%? They are bullshitting every man, woman, and child. So a few weeks ago, I'd get 26, 28, 30 people to my live stream. Maybe not that many even. And I don't really care because I'm going to do it anyway. Then I started posting about Agenda 2021 and telling people to go there. But more than that, I started sending out that link in my Yahoo Mail to a couple of chosen people. And that day was when my views on an average video upload went from 120, 130 to 30. Yeah, all I did was mention Agenda 2021 5 seconds after I said it. 5 seconds after I said that, the live stream died. That was a coincidence? You'd have to be stone stupid to believe that. Anyway, that's why I mentioned Steve Montelli in the title. Because Steve Montelli, that's right, John, you got that story down pat. I'm surprised. So Paige High is here. Welcome to the machine. This is live, baby. Lawn Green, Battlestar Galactica. Wait a second. Maybe it wasn't Battlestar. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Was it Battlestar Galactica or was it that other one? What was the name of that other show? Was it Battlestar Galactica that story was in? I like Battlestar Galactica. That was the one with the robots. Yeah, it was Battlestar Galactica. Okay. Leonu Peninsula. Wow, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I rode my Harley around Leonu Peninsula last summer. It was awesome. That is a beautiful place. I used to go to dinner there with a lady that I met in Traverse City. That was a nice place. John Escape, hello, Mike. Hello, John Escape. John Escape, Paige High. Hello, John Escape. Paige High, thank you. I always feel honored when I have a lot of the people on my page, not just specifically Paige High, but a lot of the people on my page are very highly educated. And even though I do some really stupid stuff, I do try to give you the truth. And the truth is, the reason I put Steve Montelli in the title is because Steve has always known about what's going on, but to a lesser degree. I'm going to tell you, or he won't admit it to the same degree that I know what's going on. What I've always known is going on, and why I studied what I studied and how I learned what I learned. For instance, I'm going to give you a factoid. It has nothing to do with Battlestar Galactica, although it does. Okay, one factoid about the Brotherhood of Masonry that nobody understands is that there are primary principles in the Brotherhood of Masonry. Now, I'm not giving away anything secret because I would never do that, but the primary, if there was one rule that you have to follow as a brother, if there's just one rule, that rule would be given to you as the following statement. If you say, what is the one basic tenet that all Masons all over the globe or the flat plane must obey? Forget about that rule about not talking bad about Masons. They don't really give a shit about that rule. The one basic tenet of Masonry that is global and mandated that you follow is this. 3 words. Obey your government. Those are the 3 words that sum up the Masonic order globally or flat plane wide. Okay? Obey your government. No matter what lodge you're in, no matter what level you're in, no matter what country you're in, no matter your language, your age, or your status in the Brotherhood, those three words are mandatory for every Mason. And all world leaders are either Masons or honorary members of Masonry. Even the idiot got an honorary Masonic degree. Okay, that was all of them. Because, to be honest with you, a couple of the presidents that we've had couldn't pass the muster to get in to become a Mason. You had to remember and be able to perform certain functions and do certain rituals. You had to do these things in order to become a Mason. And a couple of the presidents, they're too freaking stupid to become Masons. They couldn't remember the words. They wouldn't remember the hand signals. They wouldn't remember the steps to get across the checkerboard and all that other nonsense. So obey your government. So now what's going on? What's going on in this world? Now, Steve Montelli, I've been giving him a lot of shout outs lately because Steve is telling you what they're doing. But Steve has no idea or doesn't display the idea of what's really going on. What's really going on is, let me see if I'm right about the Battlestar Galactica. Okay, Biggie, the story of how the 12 colonies of mankind are destroyed. Right, that's the one with the girl with the bow and arrow and stuff. She goes off. Right. Okay, so the 12 colonies. John Escape says the story of how the 12 colonies, the 12 tribes, by the way, the 12 colonies of mankind are destroyed after 1,000 years of war with the evil Cylon Empire. Through deceit, the Cylons are able to destroy the colony's entire fleet, except Big E, the Nephilim. That's right, that was the name of those giants. And there's millions of skeletal remains that they removed. Battlestar Galactica, captained by Commander Page High. I remember your early videos. Okay, so the notice didn't come, says Big E. So that one thing I was talking about, you're not going to get a notice from me anymore. Since I started sending people the notice about Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030, that my video views have dropped 75%. Okay? Let's just bottom line this. YouTube, Google, Alphabet, one of my friends asked me, is this email private? I says, are you joking? Every email, every keystroke, every word, every picture, every video ever posted since the day the internet was turned on has been copied. So when I started sending out the link for Agenda 2021, because it is a story that was created, this story goes back to the 1800s, but it was formulated and cemented as a procedure in 1990, 91, 92, like that. You look it up. There's PDFs from 90 or 91. You look up the agenda for Agenda 2021, and the agenda is to take over the world the way they're doing it today. People don't get it. This is not some haphazard event in the year 2020. This is happening because it has been planned and it's in PDF format since 1991 and 92. But that's nothing. Wait till you go and read Agenda 2030, where in Agenda 2030, the plan, according to the plan, this is not my understanding. This is not my interpretation. This is not my theory about the plan. The plan is, by 2030, to eliminate 90% of the world's population. That's the plan. You think I'm kidding you? And the only way they could do that in the plan is to give everybody a vaccination to make the world a better place. That's the only way they can do it. That is the only way that they can do it. So that is not, I'm not making this stuff up. So we're going to go to Paige High's comment now. Paige High said, I remember your early videos when you first came to the Philippines. There were lots of viewers. I think you had 18,000 at the time. Then it started to stall, but you were talking against the Philippine government. I don't know. I don't even remember that. Maybe I did. Maybe I was talking about the Vatican, but maybe I said something. No, I don't think I ever mentioned Philippines politics, but thanks for the comment. But I don't remember actually. I may have said the truth that maybe what you're thinking about is that video I did in front of the church where there are people begging for 1 peso in front of a church that just spent 100, 200, 300 million pesos on renovations. And at the end of the ceremony, after collecting all their money, they don't even come out and give the beggars a piece of pan. I have said that. That's true. But the government itself, probably not. Because I know you're not supposed to talk about stuff like that. Although there are people that say things like, well, I won't say what they say. There are people that have broken those rules. So, I don't think it had anything to do with that. So, but if Paige High, you want to go with the numbers, look at my numbers. 18,996 subscribers for 4 months now. Every month I get 45, 50, 70 subscribers new. And every month it stays at 18,996 subscribers. A year and a half ago, I had 19,996. A year and a half ago, I had 19,850. So in a year and a half, I gained 146 subscribers in a year and a half. Even though every month I get between 40 and 70 new subscribers. I'm just being screwed by YouTube and Google. And that's okay. I don't really care. The amount of money that they let me make through live streams and Super Chat and my videos on Patreon, and then I have private donations now. The amount of money, they give me a platform, and that's all that I really care. And maybe there's a lot more people watching the videos than normal, but how is it possible for, go to any other channel on YouTube. It doesn't matter what channel you go to. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Go to any channel with 2,000 subscribers. And when they put out some worthless shit video about them buying a freaking soda in a sari store, going to a uki store, or watching a dog scratch their buttocks, they're going to get 800 views on the video. Some worthless piece of shit video. I had a girl last night. I sent a comment out to a very pretty young lady, and she was dancing. And I saw her comment on one of the other shows, and I went to her channel, and because she said, come visit my channel. I make videos from the Philippines, and I went there, and the girl has 4,000 subscribers. And she's only been on YouTube a short time. Well, because she's pretty. Okay, so she's pretty. But all she does is dance, and she says she does makeup tutorials. But I never got that far. So somehow she got 4,000 subscribers in just a few months, like Chi Corsairs. But Chi has had much assistance with many people. This girl did it all on her own because YouTube and Google are pushing this stupid bullshit with a pretty girl dancing. Now, of course, the guys are going to her show because they're dancing. But me, I have 20,000. We're going to just say I'm 4 short of 20,000. I have 20,000 subscribers. And how can I possibly put out a video with the name Big Kevin Shoutout from the Deep and get 34 views in 5 hours? How's that possible? It's not possible. So, digressing back to Battlestar Galactica, and John escapes. Well, yeah, Paige High says another truth. I just told John Escape on Skype to read Agenda 2021. And you only have to read, it only takes about 6 or 7 minutes to read it before you realize that everything in the document is happening. So Paige High, Dr. Paige High, says, I've also noticed when you go live, you automatically get 5 thumbs down in like 3 seconds. Someone must really hate your show. Well, we know who that person is, or persons. They're jealous people with very small IQs, small hands, and small feet, which is good because they save money when they're buying gloves and boots, because they need small gloves and small shoes and boots. So less material, more money they save. And the small mind allows them to believe their own bullshit, okay? Their own bullshit. To say things like the guy in America said, Michael Fazio, he's dying of cancer. When that guy who said that from America smokes, I don't know. I mean, I would only make a guess that he's smoking on the screen in 2 hours. I guess you smoke a cigarette every 5 or 6 minutes, and he's smoking one every 10 minutes, so 2 hours, 120 minutes. I guess he's smoking 3, 4 cigarettes an hour, and sometimes he does 2-hour shows, but probably no different off camera. So he's probably smoking 3 cigarettes an hour, say 12 hours a day. That's 2 packs a day. And he's talking about me dying of cancer because I'm overweight. Really? Really? So that man in America who says these things has a very small understanding of reality. But we're not talking about that guy too much anymore, because you already know the man is not educated. Not in one, maybe he's an idiot savant in one field, but other than that, lowbrow, low education. So, John Escape says, it's amazing. It's amazing. John Escape is talking about Agenda 2021, which I gave him. Okay, Biggie says, I have a show to set up in 6 hours and already have 3 thumbs down. Not uncommon to have 15 or more. The filthy trolls. I have a feeling it's 3 or 4 people. That's right, Biggie. I saw your show because of your community post. And yet still, even with a community post, I only have 10 people watching, which is okay. You were talking against the negative of the Philippines. You want to give it a little bit more specifics or just drop the issue? Because you could say that in a general format, and I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I have no idea what I said that you're talking about. So why don't we just drop it, please? Okay? Because if you're not going to give me specifics, then I'm not going to know what you're talking about. And I'm serious. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't ever remember what you're saying. And I could have forgot. I made a lot of videos, but either give me a specific thing that I said supposedly, or just drop it, because I'm trying to deal. It'd be like me telling you the guy that some medical diagnosis that you can't follow. So I don't know, Paige. You've never done anything like this before. If you're asking if I was straddled because of what I said in the Philippines, no, it has nothing to do with what I said in the Philippines. It has to do with me. And listen, Paige. Let me ask you this simple question, Paige High. And I'm not being facetious. Have you read Agenda 2021? Have you read it? Have you read Agenda 2030? We won't even talk about Agenda 2050. These are all plans. Now, I'm asking you, forget about this Philippines nonsense. Just answer that simple question, please. Have you read Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030, and Agenda 2050? It's a simple yes or no question. And if you haven't, then you don't understand why I say the things I do. Because I am not coming up with these ideas from the back of my head. I'm not looking at movies and coming up with these ideas. These are things I read about. These are things people wrote about. These are things powerful people talked about 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So I'll wait for your answer. Forget about what I said about the Philippines. Scott Del Fuego says, we are all dying the moment we are born. What matters is how we live during our dying days. Okay, that's a pretty good philosophy, because it is true. So, what is this sex Pat Hunter? Just shit can that guy. Go to his channel and just shit can him. If you have to delete his messages. Yeah, if he's bothering people on here, John, if you can go to his channel, go to the About page, click the About page, and then block him. And that's the end of it. Okay, so now, Scott Del Fuego, the wordsmith who knows what I'm talking about, they are passing more and more incursions upon our liberties. We must be able to live free, think clearly, talk openly, too loudly proclaim our demands to retain our God-given rights, freedom. So here's the deal with what Scott just said. That's what they took away from me. Google, Alphabet, YouTube, the Illuminati, and more specifically, the fucking Vatican took away my right of free speech because of the video I have posted on my homepage, proving that the Illuminati, the Brotherhood of Masons, the United States government, the Bank of England, is all controlled by the Vatican. That's why I get fucking 10 people on my live streams. That's why I am the person that proved all of that in my book, Angels on the Ark, and in hundreds of videos. Now, you don't believe it? I don't care. I proved it. I should be more famous than Steven Spielberg. I've said this 100 times. I proved in my book, Angels on the Ark, that the Vatican controls the world. And then, who controls the Vatican? Israel. The Illuminati. The, what the hell's the name of that? The 300 Club, whatever they are, the 300. You name Ishmael Schmuckstein, whatever that guy owns the banking industry. They control the Vatican controls the world, whatever. The people that Trump is pulling the long con on you. The long con. Did I hear long? Mr. Obama talking about Mr. Trump pulling the long con. Long. All I'm interested in is the long part, Mr. Fazio. Mr. Obama, go back over there and play with Steve Montelli. Okay. See you later, Mr. Obama. See, Trump is pulling the long con on you. What did Trump say he was going to do? What has he done? Nothing has he done. Oh, he's going to build up the economy. He's going to kill unemployment. Unemployment went down to 4%. John Escape told me unemployment was 27.6% this morning, or 26.7%, higher than the Great Depression by 7 points. And Trump said he was going to end unemployment. What the hell has Trump really done? Nothing. Nothing. He's pulling the long con. Long con. Not long slung, Mr. Obama. Long con. Oh, sorry. Okay. He thought I said the long The long Oten. He thought I said the long Oten. Trump is pulling the long con. He pulled the long con on you people. You people are stone stupid. I told you 6 months after Trump became president that he was going to screw you worse than Obama ever could. And he did. He did it. He did it 4 months ago, in case you didn't notice. Okay, so we have Page High. He's going to give us more information. Pretty lady was dancing, so Michael said, shout out, shout out. Oh, yeah, baby. That Irish Israel caregiver, she's a very pretty woman. And Chico says, you're a bullshit, sexpat. What are you talking about? I don't know who the hell you are, so stop bullshitting me. These people are just trolls, honey. Not Honey Co, but Chico says. Scott says they are passing. Okay, so Scott, incursions. Okay, so if you looked up the word incursions, you would see that Agenda 21 is 1,000 incursions on your rights. They took them all away, by the way. All of them. All of them. They took them away. Do you know, the other day I went through, well, the first market that I went to was just like, an open stand, not a problem. And in fact, it was quite interesting. There was 1 square acre of stores. And that's the second market. The first market just was one big store. But there was nobody. I rode from my house to right where Giuseppe's Pizza is. There's a little vegetable stand across the street. And I said to myself, wait a second. How much? They wanted 80. Okay. 80 pesos for cabbage when I went into the city last time. But if you buy 5 kilos, you could get it for 70 pesos. So I went into the store. I asked how much. He said 110 pesos per kilo. What are you, nuts? Are you nuts? That's all right. So she had to bring the stuff home back to the thing. But at 80 pesos, when you're buying in bulk at the market, they probably pay 30 or 40 pesos. So they're doubling their money. She was tripling the cost of cabbage. So I wanted 5 kilos of this and a couple of kilos of that. So I said, I'll just go to the city, or I'll go to the other market. And she said, okay. She would not reduce her price. I was the only person in the store. And then outside the store, I meandered for about 10 minutes, because I had done some shopping on the way between McDonald's and the store. I bought aspirin, I bought batteries, I bought cigarettes, I bought like 6 different items, and I had the aspirin in my pocket. I bought a cigarette lighter. I bought this little blue lighter for 10 pesos. This lighter is 10 pesos. In the store in Alona Beach, they wanted 25 pesos for this lighter. Same lighter with the light on it. So this lighter that they sold me for 10 pesos with a light in the store 1 kilometer away from Alona Beach was 10 pesos. And in Alona Beach, they wanted 25. Anyway, I went to another store and I got more fresh or fresher cabbage. Fresher cabbage. No brown leaves, no burnt leaves, no bug-eaten leaves for 80 pesos a kilo. I didn't even ask them for a discount, because normally I would, but I thought it was a reasonable price. So I bought 5 kilos, so I saved 80 to 110. I saved 150 pesos. But by going out of town, I saved on 100 aspirin, another 100 pesos. That's 250 pesos. Then I bought 2 other kilos of vegetables, another 60 pesos. That's 300 pesos. Okay, but then I bought, what the hell else did I buy? I bought a gallon of mustard, and the mustard there was 110 pesos. And the mustard by the gallon in Alona Beach, you couldn't buy it by the gallon. A half a gallon was 125 pesos. So not even a half a gallon, like a 48-ounce jar. So I saved 125 pesos there. So I basically saved 500 pesos to do a 10 kilometers there and 10 kilometers back to where I live. So in Alona. So, but you have to understand, I was the only person I saw in any store I went to, in the 7 or 8 stores that I went to. In the pharmacy, I was the only person. There were 2 security guards, 2 women behind the counter, and I walked in, there was nobody in there, and I walked out, and there was nobody outside or going into the store. And I was in the store 10 minutes. For a whole big pharmacy, 360 pharmacy. I was the only person in the private vegetable market where they wouldn't reduce the price. I was the only person in the wet market, and the wet market was closed. I was the only person. So this is what they have done to the world. Now, you want to talk about stupid rules. So I walked, all right, the way you get into the wet market is, you used to walk in from any side of the property. It's 1 acre. Let's just say it's an acre. You can't do that anymore. So I had my bicycle, and I went in through the back door. I'm going, everybody here knows that, it's just a door. It's just an entrance. It's not, everybody here knows. Who the hell wants to walk all the way around the block? It's 200 feet to get to the entrance they wanted me to use, which I ended up using, but it's 200 feet. Just let me go in the back here, and I'll do my shopping, and I'll leave. But they wouldn't allow that. So I instead of riding the bicycle, I just walked the bicycle around, and I found a couple things that I wanted, little knickknacks, so little doodads. So I go to the front entrance, and the man there, he's seen me before. I mean, I've been here for 6 years. I don't go to that market much, but he saw me. This is what they've done. This is lockdown. I never thought it existed here, but I have an unlimited pass. I have a unlimited 30-day pass. Don't ask me how I got it, and I won't tell you, because I'm not going to tell you, but I got one. Okay, so I have an unlimited pass. I can go anywhere I want for 30 days between 7 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock at night. So he says, sir, very nice man. Please put your bicycle against the wall. I could have put it on the floor, but I put it against the wall. I did that. And he goes, I'm going to shoot, put the gun on your head. And my temperature, even though I was just riding a bike for 7 kilometers, my temperature was still 98.6. So I said, good to go? He goes, good. So he asks me for my pass, and I show it to him. They're supposed to sign it, but he didn't, because he knows that I'm probably going to go other places. And they know me. Everybody knows me. So I go into the store. I get what I want. I buy the lighter, which was 10 pesos, and in Alona Beach proper, it was 25 pesos. So, I mean, you can save a lot of money. But anyway, moving past that. So now I want to go into the market, and there's, the way you always went into the market was this 12-foot corridor. No, not anymore. Nope. Now they have you make a right, and you walk down a path that's about 36 inches wide. It's a sidewalk. Okay, so, and I know where the market is, but I mean, it was always through the main corridor. So I walked down this little path. It's only about 100 feet. It's halfway back to the back entrance. And I walk down the corridor, and I make the left, because he tells me I can make a left. I say, thanks a lot. I mean, that's where the market is. I might as well make the left. He was very nice. I make the left. I go to the stores that I want to go to. I was the only person on 1 acre of stores that were all open. All the stores were open. The Yuki Yuki store, the clothes store, the sandal store, the shoe store, the vegetable stores, the fish was open, but no pork and no chicken. The fish market, the fish market was open with the dried fish, but no pork, no chicken, and no fresh fish. So I was the only person in there, and I walked around, I did my shopping, and then when I went to get my bicycle, I went back to the front, like through that. I started to walk back just across the land, and the security guard said, "Sir, you go out." Now, he knows I had the bicycle because that's where I came in the first time. So I said, okay. So I walked out the back, and I had to walk around. They have these rules now that you have to follow. I don't have a problem with walking a couple of 100 extra feet. I just don't see the point of any of this. And this is what they have you brainwashed to do. Now, of course, I'm being brainwashed also. Or I just don't feel like dealing with the consequences, and there will be consequences. These people take their jobs very seriously here. So I don't give them any gruff about it. When the guy said walk out the back, I know what he wants. I know why he wants it. And I know that he's going to want me to do what he wants. So why cause problems? So I just walked around, and then I went in. This is the stupid part of this. Then I went back into the front entrance where the bicycle was. And I had the backpack on. I had this little, I'll show you the little backpack. I have so I have this backpack on, and now my little REI backpack from 1979. REI. From 1979 I got this thing. I get to the, hold on. I get my bicycle. I'm exactly 4 feet from where I walked in. I just walked in and put the bicycle up against the wall. I'm 4 feet away from the entrance. And I've been in the market for a half an hour. And I get the bicycle and I go to walk out. The guy goes, no, sir. No, sir. Walk around. He made me walk the 200 feet to the back entrance. This is ridiculous. I'm right there. I'm by the entrance. They got these rules now. I walked to the back. I rode my bicycle. I said goodbye to all the guards. They said, "Mayan hapon pod," and have a nice day, and emping permi pod. Everybody was happy. But why? Why are they doing this? They are brainwashing everybody. But why are they doing it? Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030, and Agenda 2050. By the year 2030, they want 90% of the world's population to be gone, deceased. And this has happened many times in the last few 100,000 years. This civilization that you think that just started from some bullshit Darwin theory, it's all bullshit. There's no Darwin, the evolution of things. People didn't come out of the damn ocean. However that people became people and races became races. However that shit occurred has not a damn thing to do with Darwin and his missing link. That's all bullshit. You go to New Earth videos, New Earth, N-E-W-E-A-R-T. She has video after video after video after video after video after video. For 5 years, she's been posting videos of civilizations that have existed on this flat plane for millions of years. And you stupid bastards out there that think that I'm telling you some kind of fictitious story, you don't believe it. You believe what you read in the paper. Why do you think they put everybody in lockdown? They put you in lockdown to keep you segregated from the truth, from talking to other people about what's happening, from mentally revolting against what's happening. You stupid bastards. And now YouTube, Google, the internet, Comcast, whoever, the Illuminati, the Vatican, has reduced my view counts to a lousy fucking 12 viewers to get the notice out of 20,000 people on a Thursday night when nobody in the fucking world is working. Nobody is working. Nobody is doing anything else but watching videos. So what do? They reduce my fucking view count to 13 people. Okay? This is how they are fucking segregating you stupid bastards from each other. Even though they still have things like the protocols of Zion and the no-hide laws still up on the internet. That's just to shove it in your face. They now have the ability to tell you if you don't get vaccinated, we can remove your head with a guillotine in America. You think I'm kidding? Look up the no-hide laws, 1991. Go ahead and look it up. It says that George Herbert Walker Bush sold the government of America to the rabbinical no-hide law people. I forgot what they are. They're some sort of rabbi. So if you don't follow the protocols of Zion to the T, so let's say they're Jewish and you're not. It's in the law that if you don't follow Jewish protocol, they can take your head off with a guillotine. Why a guillotine? I'll tell you why a guillotine. Because in the protocols of Zion, in the document that George Herbert Walker Bush signed on March 5th through March 7th of 1991, it says no more execution by lethal injection and no more execution by electrical surges. No more electrocution. And why? It says it in the protocols of the no-hide laws. Because if they electrocute somebody, it hurts the organs, and there can be no organ transplants. And if they chemically kill you, there can't be chemically transplants. So they're going to start chopping your head off for body parts. What, you think they aren't doing it now? You really think all the homeless people disappeared 10 years ago from the streets of Los Angeles and other big cities? You don't think? Where did they go? There was a guy out there doing videos on homeless people disappearing. Gone. Never to be heard from again. You people are dumb as rocks, I gotta tell you. So that's why when I charge people to abuse them, people come, people give. They should give. They should give. If they're stupid enough to give, I'm caring enough to take. So let's go to the comments. Okay, Paige High says, I have not. I think my message isn't clear. It came across wrong. I don't know who you are, Sex Pat. Leave me alone. Paige High, I'll read it. Ah, Paige High, thanks. Okay. Big E says he has an idea who that is. Chi-Chi says he's talking about 26.6 million unemployed. It won't recover. That's just the people that are registered unemployed, says John. Dennis Adam, welcome to the machine, Dennis Adam. Two Bears, 2030, I will be 75 years old. So Two Bears is saying he doesn't give a shit, and I'll be in the same position. I probably won't care much either. With the 26th pick, Scott Del Fuego was talking about football. With the 26th pick of the 2020 NFL draft, the Miami Dolphins chose Michael Fazio, Aviation High School, Queens, New York, 5'9", 234-pound philosopher and purveyor of the truth. Yeah, baby. Salamat. So let's go. Thank you, Scott. So let's go to Mel Kipper. Fazio is a great pick. He is fluid in the hips and mind. He has great punch and great motor, high NWO IQ, and isn't afraid to take liars on secondarily. Thank you, Scott. Salama. An NFL draft pick. Now, that could only come from a wordsmith. I never heard anybody say anything so complimentary. Hey, Mike, I can't go to video with the wrench. That is why I did it before. You can't go to the person's page, John, anymore, because YouTube took that ability away from us. They took the ability to click on the person's 3 dots and go to their channel, so we don't communicate with each other anymore. That's why they did that. They are segregating us in every fucking way possible. You people don't see it. It's happening incrementally, as Scott said, incursions, a little incursion here, a little incursion there. They are fucking the world. Do you not understand how they are fucking the world? They took away your ability to go to a nice channel like Lyrish Israel Caregivers. Here, you can't go to her channel and subscribe to her channel. You can't go to Scott Del Fuego's channel, who tells you some of the truth. You can't go to my channel if you see me on another live stream, because they don't want you to communicate with each other anymore. Social distancing. Fuck you people. Don't talk to anybody. Woman got arrested yesterday or the day before for pushing her child on the swings in a park. For pushing her fucking child on the swings. You fucking people are stone stupid. You really fucking stone stupid. I don't know where to go with this. I mean, what can Google do? Reduce me from fucking 12 people on a live stream with 20,000 subscribers to 3? I'm still going to say the same shit. So, Page High, if you can go to watch and read that as a doctor, it's the least you could do for your fellow man. Because I'm going to tell you something, Page High. I like you a lot. You're a doctor. I give you way more accolades than I give most people. If you don't understand the protocols of Zion, the fact that America was sold to the Noahide Jews, or the philosophy of the Noahide Jews, in 1991, by the way, if you don't understand what's written in Agenda 2021, 2030, and 2050, if you don't understand that, it's something, as an educated man, which will take you about, I don't know, I could read through Agenda 2021 in 7 minutes. I could read the entire thing, speed read it, and comprehend it. But I know the topic matter. But if I didn't know the topic matter, I could still speed read it in 7 minutes. You could probably do it in 5.5 or maybe 5 minutes. You should look seriously into this. All of you people should. What it said that they were going to do in 1991, they're doing it now. What I told you about going to the store happened 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. And separation? You have no idea what Trump is going to do. Trump is propagating the long con. Long con. Look, did I hear long schlong? No, Mr. Obama. You heard long con. Sorry, thought I heard long schlong. No, you didn't hear the Ta'as Oten. No! A Ta'as Oten! A Ta'as Oten! Oh my God! The Ta'as Oten! Where is the Ta'as? It's over there, Mr. Obama. Steve Montelli got it with the big boy, the nuts. Oh, I'm gonna go look for the Ta'as Oten. Okay, Mr. Obama, you go look for the Ta'as Oten. Mr. Obama's going over there. And so I'm gonna read the comments, but I gotta oh shit. I dropped my water. I dropped it. But fortunately, I had drank half of it, so when it landed on the side of the bottle, nothing came out. Yep. And here we go. We're going to finish the water. We're going to kill the water, just like they're going to kill you before the year 2030. Go ahead, take the vaccination. Go ahead. You're not going to have much of a choice. They'll shut off your bank account. Oh, they got more rules, too. The incursions that Scott's talking about. Let's just talk about the one if you have kids. Let's say you have children in America. Let's say you have children in America. So, you have 2 children. And you say, I don't want to give my children vaccinations. They'll say, well, you'll have to homeschool them somehow, however that is. And so you do that. But let's say you want to go to the store and buy something and you don't have any money. Well, if you don't have a vaccination, they just shut off your credit card or your bank account. You get vaccinated, we'll turn it back on. But if you don't get vaccinated, you can't fly either, by the way. So if you have to leave the Philippines on a 3-year visa run, you're not going to be able to fly out of the Philippines. If you want to come to the Philippines and visit, no, not allowed. Got to get vaccinated. You fucking people. We're fucked. We're fucked. We are fucked. Okay, we are fucked. Now, this is what they have had planned. Now, why did they say 2021? Because everything they needed to fuck everybody on the planet, including the scam, the long con. Oh, did I hear long? No, Mr. Obama. We're talking about when you printed $17 billion in the first 4, 5, 6 weeks that you were in office. I remember that. I paid them all off. I fucked you proper. No. What did you do with all that money? Everybody got a box. Everybody got a box. I told them that one day they could use the money now. They could not take the money. They take the money, not use the money later. But one day they get the order that says you do this and you got to do that. So when did that happen? That happened. I wanted to do it, but Trump, he did it. He fucked you all. Mr. Trump, he did that. He did. He took the money that I gave everybody and he gave them the order. Everybody, men, women, children, Democrats, Republicans, they took the money. And now they're doing what they were told would have to do. Every fucking politician, lawyer, judge, world leader, priest, bishop, the Vatican, the Protestants, the Jews, every fucking one of them, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for the first time in the history of the fucking world. For the first time in the history of the world, everybody's in agreement. Lock them down. Separate those stupid, useless eaters. According to Henry Kissinger, separate them so they can't talk to one another. And especially that fucking guy, Fazio. Fucking remove the bell from Fazio's channel. Subscribers, remove the fucking bell. Give Fazio 10, 12 people. Let him placate the little bastard. But stop that motherfucker from telling the truth. Okay. Well, you heard it there first. It's the one world order. The new world order. The government of the world. Hell, Irish Israel caregiver. Your week of shout-outs. Shout out to Irish Israel caregiver. Each week, Big E is going to select one of the beautiful Filipinos or Filipinas and choose a channel that every time we see that person's name, we give them a shout out and tell them to go to Irish Israel Caregivers channel and subscribe. So I don't know how that's working out, but I did a shout out from the deep and I try to help her out. Next week, it'll be a different person. So welcome to the machine, Irish. Salamat. Everybody here is enjoying the show, Irish, but Well, now I have 8 people watching. I have 8 people watching. I have 20 fucking thousand subscribers. And I have 8 people watching my live stream. 8 fucking people. You believe this? You get some fucking douchebag up in Subic Bay who talks about nothing on his fucking videos, and he gets 30,000 views in 3 days. Same amount of subscribers, roughly. Ooh, says Mr. Obama. He likes the Steve Montelli's Big Boys. Can I come to Miami with you for training camp? Mr. Obama, we're going to go to the workout with the football players. You want to go? Mr. Obama, come over here. Mr. Obama, put your pants up. Okay, you want to go to Miami? What's in Miami? Football players. What do they got for me? They got big boys. They play like they're men. Boys, I'm going. How do I get there? You just hold on. Hold on. These are magical Steve Montelli nuts. You put your finger in there like that, and they will whisk you away to Miami, and you will be with the Miami Dolphins. You want to be with a Miami Dolphin? I don't want to go swimming. No. Just in the locker room. I'm going now. See you guys later. I gotta go. Mr. Obama, he's a going and he's a going. Yeah, you people think that this is a joke. Not a joke anymore. I had 9 people, 20,000 subscribers and 9 people. Really? Well, I'll read the messages. Now, John Escape says, Anise is the vaccine. Imagine if Anise is the vaccine. Imagine if Anise is the vaccine and I've been drinking Anise for like 6 months and I can't get sick. Imagine that. I'm trying to look at, I have messages. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't give a shit what that guy says. The guy has, he has delusions of grandeur, is what he has. Now we can see why. Okay. Yeah, well, I gave you the reasoning for that nonsense this morning. But thanks for the information. So, let me see where I was. I get sidetracked there. There are people talking about me on other channels that what I'm telling you is not the truth. Could you imagine this? Even I give you the websites to go to. I give you the name of the websites. I tell you when the websites were created. I told you who created them. I told you the people behind them. And these dumb fuckers on YouTube, these completely ignorant bastards on YouTube would rather make fun of the truth than believe the truth that's set in stone. In fact, talking about stone, what about those, what's the name of that thing that they got there? What's the name of that big stone thing that they got where they want to reduce the population to 500 million? Two bears. The reason that the wires are hanging down behind me is very simple. Okay, the wires are there so that when I want to do a live stream from outside that you will never see because you're not a member of my Patreon community, I can take the modem, which is over there, as far away from where I'm sitting as 35 feet. So when I take the modem to where I want to be, then the tablet that I'm live streaming from will have service. So if I wanted the wires, and I know you have something to do with electrical, if I wanted the wires to be neat and clean, they would be. But if I do that and I tie wire them, then every time I zip tie them, I have to cut the zip ties. So, but when I want to live stream something that you will never see, by the way, because you're not a member of you're not a member of my Patreon community at all. So you can forget about ever seeing that stuff. But you'd have to be at the highest levels. And then those people get to see what I do when I'm not on live streaming. So if I wanted them, what I have here, I'll show it to you because you're an electrician. So you're going to want to see proof that I can go 30 feet. So I'll show it to you. All right. Oh, boy. Where the hell is this? I got the wire outside. No, I got it right here. Okay. Oh, boy. I screwed up. All right. Well, I got 30 feet of wire on that. What I did was I put a shelf up the other day. Hold on. Just to let you know, Two Bears, that I don't lie about anything. Those schmucks on the other channel that think I'm crazy or why I do what I do, I don't give a flying shit what people think about what I say. Every fucking one of you people, not you per se, Two Bears, but every fucking one of these people that make fun of myself, my channel, or what I talk about, every fucking one of them are going to see one day that everything I've ever said is true, and these small-minded little creatures, these little, the scum of the earth, the scum of the earth. You got some guy that smokes fucking 4, 5, 6 packs of cigarettes a day and drinks 30 beers making fun of me? Really? With no licenses, no confirmation of anything that he's ever said. And then I heard stories that he was showing pictures of a can of fucking brake fluid cleaner or some shit. Brake cleaner as part of his tool accessory? Fucking really? Hold on a minute. I'm going to get the screw gun and I'm going to show Two Bears that I have 30 feet of wire. What I did was I put a screw into a shelf and I locked that wire behind the shelf. So you people think that there isn't a single person on YouTube that tells you as much truth as I give you in one show. You hear stories, you hear all this bullshit. I am the best channel, I'm the smartest blogger, I have a deep radio voice. That deep voice probably came from doing things. So here we go, Two Bears. Hold on. Oh boy. Well, we had that monkeyed up pretty good. Oh boy. And oh, there's 8 feet of wire. Oh boy. Okay. All right, this. All right, so we got this, right? This is all for 2 bears. All because I'm actually going to use this in a little while. And I needed to do this anyway. I realized that yesterday, but I didn't do a live stream from personal live stream. So I'm doing this not for 2 bears per se. I'm doing it because it needed to get done. So to show you that I actually have the ability to go 30 feet is relatively simple. As soon as I get this rubber band off of here. And so that's why the wires are the way they are. And they are a little bit, well, when I put the shelf up the other day, without my glasses, some things I just don't see. So what we have here is, well, we have 4 feet of wire over there. Well, let's just take this off of here anyway. All right. Might as well straighten this out. I got nothing else to do, actually. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to remove the phone wire. And we'll pull that phone wire out of here. All right. Might as well get something done that needs to be done anyway. Okay. And I prefer rubber bands over tie wires. First of all, they're cheaper, and second of all, they go on and off really easy. So I prefer rubber bands over tie wire. And even though they don't last very long, a couple of months, 6 months, 8 months, I still prefer them over tie wire. So now, so what is this? This is the internet connection. So what we have here, to get to from here, which I can't show you, to the internet modem is, when I had the system installed, I bought, I paid a small amount of money. I think it was 750 pesos I paid extra for them to put 30 feet, to give me an extra 30 feet of wire and an extra long modem cable so I could have the telephone in other places. So what we have here is 7 feet of wire from here to the modem, but this goes out. Then we have, we'll just do it like this. This is 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, roughly 30 feet, well, a lot more than that. With the wire that goes to the wall, 32 feet of wire between this and what's over there behind a box. And the other thing, we have roughly 34 feet, 35 feet of wire. However, if I take it out through the side of the house, just unplug it and pull the wiring out, I have, I think it's 38 feet. So that's why the wires are not are hanging all over the place. Now, Two Bears said that facetiously, as if he was going to explain to me how to hold wires, or how to, he was being a little facetious, and he might have been being a little bit of an asshole too, and trying to show you how easy it is to keep the wire straight. But that's okay, because I don't care about that. Two Bears and I have already had a conversation. He does have some mechanical skills. I don't know his full extent of his mechanical skills or his full abilities, but he does have some, so I let him slide. But he happened to be right. The wires were a mess. There's no doubt about that. And the fact that I may or may not use, okay, so that I may or may not use the outside modem. So my modem, basically this piece of garbage that Globe gave us, it won't go through a 1/2-inch piece of plywood. Okay. So let's see, we'll go back to Two Bears, and I hope that Two Bears is, are you okay now that my wires are all straightened out? Okay, Scott, Big E is saying hello to Irish Israel caregiver, and says, doing awesome. Now, Big E, we're going to do a shout out. I did a little shout out video for Big E. It was just one of two that I loaded this morning. One for Kevin, one for a Brit in the Philippines. Scott Del Fuego says, I will not be marked with the vaccination of the beast. This is my Thermopylae. Okay, so if you don't know what Thermopylae means, there were 300 warriors that fought supposedly 1 million warriors off, and they all died, but they fought a tremendous amount of warriors off. So this is my Thermopylae. This is where I will stand with the 300. You want my blood, my antibodies, come and take them. So there's a lot of people that feel like that. In fact, I almost stayed in America so I could participate, but I thought that it was going to be longer than it is. If you understand what I'm saying, I thought it was going to be Steve Montelli, and I thought I was the only one that fixed my tech problems while I was live. Steve Montelli, let's get the boys out. Steve's here. Mr. Obama, Steve Montelli's in the house. Steve, I love you. I love you. You got the biggest boys on YouTube. I love you. I love Steve Montelli. I love Steve Montelli. Steve Montelli, I love. Steve's got the boys. Steve's got the boys. And Mr. Obama, he sends his love, Steve. Mr. Obama, put that away. He's very bad, Obama. So, and I thought, thank you for stopping by, Steve. So, so Big Bear, Two Bears, he was actually, what Two Bears said was a reasonable statement, but he was being a little bit of an asshole. And that's okay, because I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I live the way I want to live. And having those warriors like that is probably had to get done anyway. So thank you. But saying that I should tie wire them, zip tie them, now that was over the fucking top, Two Bears. First of all, I'm not gonna, if you zip tie something, it's permanent. Do you think I would have 35 feet of wire hanging over my head if it wasn't necessary? Now, I don't care what it looks like. It's just me here. But I'm going to use it. And it may even happen this afternoon. It's really hot out, and I like to do painting in the afternoon. Plus, I have that filter done. Where is it? Where the hell did I put that? I have these filters. I rebuilt both of these filters from a machine, and they're both rebuilt now. All I got to do is just put the rubber square O-ring on here, and I'm going to put some Teflon tape on top of this little rough area here. These filters are 35 years old. And then I need to put the O-ring back in here and put the poppet valve in here. I'm going to put these into the canister, and then I'll pre-lube them and then fill up the canisters. They take more than half a gallon each canister. They're about this big. So that's just one of the jobs I got going. And I might, when I do that, I was going to live stream. So Two Bears actually saved me some time after the show if I do that. There are other things that I have to do. I'm working on a couple of wheelbarrows. But again, like I said, Two Bears, are you a member of my $20 Patreon or above community? And you might be, because there are a lot of people I don't know who they are. But I don't think you are. So if you were, you would know why those wires were like that. So by deduction, Sherlock Holmes type of deduction, I can honestly tell you that you are not a member of my $20 or above Patreon community, which you should be. You should be. Everybody should be. Everybody in the whole world. Everybody should give me money. Everybody. That's my philosophy. And Jesus, if you remember Two Bears, Jesus said, it is better for you to give than to receive. He was talking about me when he said that. He was talking about the Church of Christians Plus, a non-denominational church where anybody can come and donate money as much as they want. We're not going to set limits. I talked to Big E. Should there be a limit of how much money the church accepts from the marks? And Big E said no. Big E we are in agreement. If we can find a mark that will send us a lot of money, we're going to take it. A little money, we're going to take it. We're not going to turn down anybody's money. So don't make a mistake, Two Bears. You're not a member of my Patreon community. Therefore, I know that because you don't know why the wires. Because if you were, when I do live streaming, from where I do live streaming in the $20 or above range, some of them are in the $50 range only. But if I do that, then you'll see me setting up the live stream and the wires live while I'm moving the wires around to get to where I want to be, to do what I want to do, and to show you what I want to show you. But you're not a member of my Patreon. Unfortunately, very sorry to hear that you don't know why the wires were hanging behind me. So I just got off on a little bit of a tangent, but the wires did need to be straightened out. There is some things that need to be done, including these filters, need to be put back in. Although there's no work for the machine, the guy wants the machine back, and I really don't want it here any longer anyway. Unless it needs servicing, it doesn't really need to be here. I don't have a problem with the machine being here, but I just don't, I have other projects that might come in on any given day. So Two Bears, I hope that you are satisfied with my... Now, let me go on, move one step further. Two Bears, have you read Agenda 2021? Have you read Agenda 2030? Have you read Agenda 2050? Because if you haven't, what I want you to do is stop watching my live streams, stop sending messages about wires. There is something more important I want you to do. I want you to go review the information I just gave you. And then I would ask you very nicely to come back and tell us what you think, because you're a smart guy. Not so smart to be sarcastic and ask me why the wires are hanging, and not so smart to talk about me zip tying wires. Remember, Two Bears, in behind the comedy that I do, in between the satire and in between the sarcasm that I project, I have more federal and state licensing than any other man on YouTube that I know of in construction industry. Okay, so being a little bit sarcastic about me zip tying wires, that was okay, but it was sarcasm, or it was a slight, a left-handed, question. But now what I want you to do is go look at what I said. So you're a pretty smart guy, there's no doubt about it. I know that, I remember what you told me that you do. And I want you to go read what I told you to read. Come back in 15 minutes, read just Agenda 2021. Read it. Go ahead and read it. I dare you to read it. Then I dare you to come back and tell me, give me a report like you were in high school or college. And if you don't, then the next time I see you, I'm going to ask you if you read it. And if you didn't read it, I'm going to ask you to read it again. And if you come back again after you answer whether or not you read it and you didn't read it and you have no report on it, you fail. And I'm going to block you. That's how simple it is. I hope you understand that, because I'm not kidding. If you read it, and I go back to the comments now and I see that you read it, I apologize. If you didn't read it, I'm asking you to read it. And if you do and respond in any way, shape, or form, and you tell me you didn't read it, I'm going to ask you to read it again. And if you tell me you're not going to read it, then I'm going to block you, because I'm not interested in talking to people that are too lazy or too ignorant to read what I just told you. What's going on today was planned 35 years ago. What's going on today was planned in the 1800s. I have documentary proof of that, but I don't need to go back to the 1800s. I can only go back to 1991, and that's all the proof I need. So what I'm asking Two Bears to do, instead of mouthing off and asking me why the wires aren't tied and trying to show his electrical genius, I'm asking you to go read something for 7 minutes. Thank you very much. Now, you don't like that? Lots of people don't like what I have to say. I just got a message that people are making fun of what I'm saying. Who gives a shit? Okay, John Escape. Steve Montelli said, Steve Montelli, the great Steve Montelli. Because Steve Montelli, now everything that I'm saying, Steve Montelli knows is true. Will he say it? Yes, he says it in a different way. A little bit more, just a little bit more savvy to what Steve says than the way I say it, but we're saying the same thing. You people are screwed. You are screwed royally. You are screwed proper. You have been screwed proper. Steve Montelli put 2 shows up this week about what's really going on. That's why I gave Steve Montelli, there are boys, and then there are the Steve Montelli nuts. Now, is Steve Montelli nuts? Nope. Is Steve Montelli telling you the truth? Yup. Does he do it with a little bit more suave than Michael Fazio? Yup. Do I care how Steve Montelli tells the truth? Nope. Do I even care that I get 17 people? Big deal. I got 17 people out of 20,000. Do I care? Nope. Don't give a flying shit about that. Because even I get one person, now, like Two Bears, that goes out and reads this stuff. If he comes back and tells me he didn't read it, I'm going to block him. Or somebody's going to go block him. Okay? I'm not kidding you. So Two Bears, that was the last comment I ever want to hear from you. Even though you've been a subscriber, even though you go to our pages, that was the last comment I ever want to hear before you give me a report on Agenda 2021. I don't care if you agree with it or not. All I want to know from you, Two Bears, all I want to know from you, Two Bears, all I want to know from you, Two Bears, is what is said in Agenda 2021, if it's true in today's world. That's all I want to know. Simple statement. Yes, you're correct, Michael Fazio. You don't have to call me Michael Fazio. You could say, yes, Michael, you're correct. Or yes, you were correct about that news article. If you don't have the balls to go there and Google it because you think the government is watching you, it's too late for that. Now, if you do have the balls to go there and read it and comment on it, then I'll give you an A+. I don't care if you go there and comment and say it's not true, but it is true, so you're going to come back and say it's true. I'll give you an A+ if you just said you read it and you agree with it. Or you disagree with it. I don't give a shit, because I don't give a shit anymore. After I went out 2 days ago and saw that they're making me walk 200 feet with a bicycle when I could just walk out the entrance I walked in 4 feet ago, this is total mass control of the populace of the freaking planet. When in the history of this world has every country, every world leader, every governor, every senator, every politician, every single mayor, every single congressman, when have they ever all agreed on anything in all of history? The whole fucking world? Really? Bullshit. It's a plan, and you ain't part of the solution. Expat prepper. Thanks, expat prepper. Look, I have requirements. But Two Bears is still here. Two Bears, I am I know what you are. Certified technician. Okay, I believe you, Michael, but you don't have to put the tie wraps tight. Simply use them to make loops to hang wires through. I understand you need to move the modem because of the steel in your abode. That's correct. But that's not, that's really not important. Really what is important is I would like you to go read those articles that I said, and I'm not, just so that you could see. Right? I just got a message on Messenger. I can tell you who it is, but I don't really care. I got a message on Messenger that people are talking about my live stream and possibly live streaming. Some of the things I said are true and calling me crazy. And yet, I just gave the people the name of the link, the name, the year it happened, the Protocols of Zion, the no-hide laws. President George W. Bush sold the United States Congress and or the political laws or the bylaws. Okay, here's the bottom line. The bylaws of the American Legal Code are now completely 100% governed and superseded by the no-hide laws, which say that if you're not Jewish, just for that, and you don't follow the Protocols of Zion, just for that, you can be guillotined. And there are many articles of thousands, I think it was 6,000 or 10,000 guillotines, hydraulically operated guillotines, were ordered back in the early 2000s by the government to put into FEMA camps. Now, I didn't see them, but that's what I remember reading, okay? But that is 10 years after. Look, go look up no-hide laws 1991, March 5th through March 7th. Go tell me I'm lying. It's in a PDF format in Google. Go tell me I'm lying. Tell me anything you want. Who gives a shit? So, Scott, Two Bears, it's just that I had noticed you're constantly ducking under the wires. Gives me exercises for my neck, Two Bears. I know what you are. I know that. Look, forget about those wires. Please go read Agenda 2021. Scott, Steve Montelli. Hi, Scott. Steve Montelli. That's what Michelle says, too. Michelle. Oh. How's Michelle, Mr. Obama? You leave him out of it. Who? Steve Montelli. Don't you talk about my Michelle. My Michelle. Oh, my Michelle. Ah, my Michelle. Oh. Well, Mr. Obama, he really loves Michelle. Steve Montelli, love it. If you haven't been scammed, you have not lived. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is no better place to go on YouTube than to come to my channel. In fact, let me tell you a little story about John Escape. I screwed that guy yesterday proper. I screwed him. Not only, I let him help me. What the hell am I saying? I let John help me. John said to me, Mike, put it together a list of stuff for a ballot buy-in box. I made a fucking list this long. I ain't even done. I only gave him yesterday's list. We're going to see. So far, John Escape sent me 4 or 5,000 watt Honda generators, gasoline generators. They're 60,000 a piece. Sending me a Daycore regulator, which a decent one, I hope the fucking guy bought me a decent regulator. A decent one cost about $250, okay? If he paid less than that, I'm not going to call him a cheap fuck, but $250 is a reasonable price, especially considering my life depends on it. But he also bought me 2 sets of Avante fins, the nice ones, and 2 3-panel masks, 6 pillows, 3 downs, and 3 my pillows. 12 5-pound tubs of peanut butter, 12 strawberry jams, Smuckers, this size, the 48-ounce size, 12 bottles of that, 12 bottles of grape, and 2 snorkels, and he bought a water distiller with a 2,800 watt solar panel heating system, solar panel battery charger for a 12-volt battery, so I could run my water distiller or anything, a fan, for several hours. So I screwed him. I mean, I gave it to him good yesterday with the list, but I wasn't done. So we're going to find out if he comes true, or, you know, and not only that, then I told him I need a couple of dollars on the side. So we're working on a reasonable amount of money, something in his limitation. The man has got to know his limitations. Even though I discussed how much money we're going to accept for the church with Big E, we don't have a top end. But now, wait a second, we might have a top. We might. John Escape says, if you haven't been scammed, you haven't outlived. So look, this is the thing about the difference between me and that other shit stain on YouTube, or the other shit stains on YouTube. I run a legitimate scam, okay? Don't make any mistake about it. Biggie says $1 to $2 million a month. We might cap it off so we don't get accused of running an illegal scam. Okay, so Big E will be in charge of the financial part of it anyway, because I'm not real good with finances, but he is. So Big E. And remember the motto of the church, ladies and gentlemen, because once we start with the building of the church, the motto of the church, there are 3 things you got to remember. 1, it is better for you to give me money than the other way around. That's going to be over the placard over the door. And remember, that's number 1. Number 2, Jesus said it is better for you to give and for me to receive than the other way around. So Rule 1 does not conflict with Rule 2 or vice versa. And Rule 3 is remember those 3 things, ladies and gentlemen. Always remember those 3 things, which now are only possible to retrieve at the $20 or above mark on my Patreon page. Remember those 3 things. Remember those 3 things, Mr. Bond? I remember. I fucking remember. Don't remind me. Remember Trayvon Martin? I remember. I said, don't remind me. What the fuck? Are you deaf? Mr. Bond is very fucking sensitive, motherfucker he is. But I gotta tell you. So, Big E says we're gonna cap it off. Scott Del Fuego, I got my ass kicked today. I'm going to lay down and listen. If I fall asleep, everyone have a great night. Whatever applies. 3% oath keepers, better to die on our feet than live on our knees. And you could... You could bet that Scott Del Fuego is serious. So, I know 2 Bears. I know you're not a member. No, I am not a member of your Patreon. Look, I am retiring in December. Given current circumstances, I am trying to hang on to every penny I have so I can retire. Okay, I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that because financially I'm okay. But I'm just saying that if you were... I was just being an asshole. You know that. I can do that really good, too. It's part of my shtick. But I do want you to read Agenda 2021. Okay, Scott, good night. Steve Montelli, ID 2020. Don't forget that. Okay, so Steve, as a doctor, brings in ID 2020. Introduced on February 20th of 2020. If I remember correctly, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. Some incursion into our freedoms happened on February, number 2, second month of the year, February 20th, 2020. So that's 2020, which is 6, which is the number 6. They do it all the time, February 20th. And then ID 2020 is I didn't read the whole bill, but I already, just from the title and what I've heard on YouTube videos, ID 2020 is the mandatory implanting of a gizmo into your hand in this area here, right here. They want to put it right here. It's about the size of a grain of rice. This will give you, and here's how they're pushing this bullshit. They did it in Sweden. They're pushing this bullshit. There's a video out there for ID 2020. You fucking people, you're not listening. It's happening right before your eyes. ID 2020, she gives you the reasoning. She is some douchebag on YouTube making videos. I don't know her name, and I don't really care about her name. She looks like Miss Joe Household, the regular, common, everyday mother that you see. What she is satanic in nature, this woman. And she's pushing ID 2020. Here's how she's pushing it. What if she starts the video off like this? I'm going to be the bitch pushing ID 2020, okay? I'm going to do the bitch's stick. Watch this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was traveling from Kansas City, Missouri, to Washington, D.C. by plane. And what I had to go through, I'm going to describe it to you. This is true now. First, I had to show my ID to get my baggage loaded out of the cab. And they scanned my ID. Then when I got inside, they scanned my ID when I registered. You have to have a passport. When I registered for the ticket. Then they scanned me when I went through customs. And then they scanned me again. And again, and again, and again, and again. I forgot what state she was traveling to. So altogether, from the time she left her house to go to Washington from Kansas City, wherever she was, she got scanned about 12 times. Then, when she wanted to go into a governmental building, when she got there, she had to be scanned again. Then when she wanted to buy something, she needed to use her credit card. So she said in the video, I got scanned about 20 times in one day. ID 2020, if we insert the chip into this part of your fist right there, you don't need a passport anymore. You don't have to carry a passport or a driver's license. You don't need a bank account card. You don't need any of that stuff. We'll just put that chip in there. But that's where they're going. They're using it. They have all of these professional actors punching this bullshit out on YouTube saying that this is the most wonderful thing in the world. And they're making it so difficult to move from one place to another that you're going to almost want to do this. But what they don't tell you about is what else that chip can do. It can turn on your bank account. It can turn off your bank account. It knows how much gasoline you bought. It knows what computer programs you turned on and off that day. It knows who you called on your cell phone, what time and what was said. It's all recorded. It knows everything about you. This is Agenda 2021. And you don't get it. And that's ID 2020. The 1 year, so 1 year before Agenda 2021, somebody will say, well, it's not 2021, it's 2020. They're just fucking starting. They're just getting going. You dumb fuck. Right. John Escape gives you the definition. Not surprised. Not surprised. John Escape says, ID 2020 Alliance unveils digital ID program with the opportunity for immunization to serve as a platform for digital identity. The program harnesses existing birth registration and vaccination. So, at some point, if you get this chip in your hand and you don't get vaccinated, they just turn off your bank account. What? You think I'm fucking kidding? You got these douchebags on another channel making fun of what I'm telling you. Even though Steve Montelli knows that this is true, and Scott Del Fuego and John Escape and everybody else, all of my close friends, all know this is happening. I have a video by a colonel in the Russian army who lays out what the bug is, exactly what he thinks the bug is, and he does it because he's a colonel, but he's also Russia's leading doctor. So he is telling you that that guy Fauci is a fuck-up. He's telling you that Fauci is a lying fuck-up. He's not telling you anything different. He's telling you that Fauci is a lying fuck-up. And he goes through this step by step. Now, I don't send it out to a lot of people. Since I started sending it out, my YouTube view counts even went down, even though I only send it out in Yahoo. They control everything already. Everything. That video, if it's still up on YouTube, if it's not, I don't know, it's only a dead link, but that video is the head of Russia's medical association saying that Fauci's lying to you. That the bug was originally related to the common cold, but not the DNA molecule inside the bug itself. Not that molecule, but the RNA molecule has been modified, he's saying, at least 4 times to get the results that they needed to get this thing going. He's also saying in that video that this is just the beginning, and he also tells you who is behind it. All right, so if you're a member of my Patreon account and you want me to send that link to you, I will. If you're a close friend of mine and I already have your email address, I'll send it. If I don't know who you are, I will not send the email to you. That's how serious the video is. So let's go on with the comments. Thank you for the explanation of ID 2020. So not surprised. The United Nations Sustainability and Development Agenda for the 21st century, aka 21st century, aka Agenda 2021. And the Sustainability and Development Agenda is to ID and chip everybody, and within 10 years, eliminate 90% of the population. John Escape, operations to provide newborns with portable and persistent biometrically linked digital identity, and to shut them off. Very good, Steve. Thank you. Two Bears, do you have any video of when you were in your hip-hop band? I would like to see that. Expat Prepper says to Two Bears. Okay, you guys have that nice conversation between you. Welcome to do so. We are screwed when we were born, not surprised. That's true. I am reading. Okay, Two Bears, thank you. So, okay, look. I don't even want Two Bears to agree with me. I don't even want him to say, Michael Fazio, you're correct about Agenda 2021, being everything that's going on today. All I want is an honest review of what it says. I know what it says. It is telling you, either directly or indirectly, what's happening today. What was the name of that rock thing where it says where they want their population reduced to 500 million? What's the name of that rock thing that they made in? I forgot I forget the name of some of this stuff. There's so much stuff to remember. Thank you, Two Bears. Whatever you think that you were going to read. Oh, Steve Montelli. Okay, so Steve Montelli says, don't forget event, EVENT 201, which was explained to President Trump by Johns Hopkins University on October 18th of 2019. This is all from memory. I don't have this stuff in front of me. So on October 18th of 2019, Johns Hopkins University in New York City held Event 201. And what that was a culmination of police, firemen, doctors, congressmen, senators, mayors, and the governor of New York State in a concerted effort that they all came together in a concerted effort to control mass hysteria from a pandemic flu and virus outbreak. And that was going to take place. It took place on, I think it was October 18th of 2019. However, the pandemic outbreak was built around the beer virus. We'll call it the beer virus. It says this, we're going to use this virus as the name of the virus that's going to cause a pandemic. That was October 18th of 2019. But that's the day the event was going to take place. But the flyers, the notices, the emails were sent out more than a year before that. So they knew about this pandemic as early as November of 2018. But going back to 2017, to October 11th of 2017, Fauci said to Trump, there is no doubt that you will have a pandemic virus on your hands before the end of your first term. No doubt. That was October 11th, 2017. So he knew about it back then because he is the person and part of the plan that knew about this 20 years ago. This has been planned for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So these schmucks on the other channel making fun of me is for you. You're all number ones. And let's go back to the Steve Dontelli. Thank you for reminding me about Event 201 because what happened in Event 201 is happening today. It's real. It's not bullshit. It's real. What Event 201 was the lockdown of New York City, theoretically and physically, with all the powers that be in a consortium, police, firemen, military, and mayor, political affiliations, all set aside, all came together for one common cause. That is what's happening globally. And I got schmucks on another channel making fun of me for telling you this. Here's what I want you to understand. Not one of these guys has a brain cell that's an extra brain cell to fill up. There isn't any. I mean, the mental cognizance of somebody. Here I am giving you dates, names, places, times, and links. And links to go to see that this was all documented as far back as 1990. All of this stuff. This isn't shit I read about yesterday. This is shit I've been talking about for 10 years since I started my YouTube channel. This is shit I've been telling people in private. I'm going to give you one example of who I've been telling shit in private to. Okay, so there's a very pretty woman on my block who's married to a very nice foreigner, and they have a very nice house. Reminds me of a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song. They're a very pretty lady, married to a very nice man. They have two very nice children. And I told this guy, when I moved to the Philippines, who I befriended, I tried to make him look up in the sky and see the line makers. And for 3 years, he told me those are just contrails. Okay. So, one day, we were on his balcony, and there was a plane, a jet, whatever it was. Manny Skywatch used to call them orbs, releasing chemicals, because he didn't believe that the military had the fuel to pump that shit into the sky. Anyway, the plane went across Bohol, and it went over Lona Beach from the ocean, and then past the Lona Beach, and headed towards Cebu. And I told the guy, in 7 minutes, that plane is going to come back. And it made a line in the sky about, I guess it was 5 miles to 8 miles long. It's hard to judge how high up they are. And it was over there, not over there. Not down there either, but over there. It was over there. It was facing the ocean, and east being to our left. It was east of where we were standing in Alona Beach. So here's the ocean, and the plane was on our left side about 5 miles away. And you couldn't see the plane, but the line. So the line started, then it stopped, then it started again, then it stopped, and then it started again. On and off, on and off. So I told him, now in 7 minutes, because it happens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the plane passes 4 times between 2 and 2:30. I said, in 7 minutes, look at the time, that plane's going to come back right over our heads, and it's going to spray more dots and dashes. And he goes, nah, that ain't going to happen. I said, yeah, it's going to happen. So 7 minutes later, we look up, and the plane is coming back in the other direction. So then I said, in about 90 seconds, it's going to come back this way and go to our right. So went to the left, it went over us, then it went to the right. And in 90 seconds, the plane turned around. It's a scheduled spraying of this shit in the atmosphere. And it made dots and dashes. But I said in the beginning, the first lines, by the time the plane gets to the third line, the first lines are going to look like clouds. And they did. Well, they looked like they were half a mile wide and 10 miles long now. They just dispersed. That's how they dispersed. So the guy went back, and then I said he'll be back in 7 minutes, and he'll cut across the island again, and then you won't see the fourth. You'll see the fourth pass. You'll see 1, 2, 3 passes. You will not see the fourth pass. He'll be too far over to the right or to the west. So we saw the first 3 passes, and the fourth pass we didn't see. But on a clear day, you'd see it. So then, finally, after 4 years that I was sitting down with the guy, for all these years I sat on his balcony and told him about it, but it was never 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, now he believes in trails. Happy days, Roy Rogers, trails. But before that, he didn't. No matter what I said, no matter how many times he saw a single line, he never believed it. I had to show him 3 lines and with the timestamps. And every day the plane does the same thing, or the jet, or the orb. Every day it does the same thing. It never does anything different. Now, didn't see it this week, but I haven't looked for it. So, Scott Del Fuego says, good man, Two Bears. When Mr. Fazio makes a strong suggestion like that, it is always for a reason. Guaranteed to be thought-provoking and a worthwhile pursuit. Thank you, Scott Del Fuego. Not surprised. The New World Order is being rolled into effect. It is. It certainly is. Steve Montelli. The economic engine of the world has been shut down at once. It's done. It's a done deal, Steve. And when it's not coming back, you people don't get it. It took how many years to get over Obama's 7% unemployment? 4 years of Trump, and then he destroys it? And you think it's accidental? Let me tell you what's not accidental. There are some people that believe the government is not organized enough to do this. The government doesn't have to be organized enough to do this. There are powers and principalities behind the government. The same powers and principalities that won't let you understand about the ancient monoliths. I mean, you got the Vatican just sticking it right in deep. Deep! Deep! Did I hear deep, Mr. Obama? You have selective hearing. Did I hear deep? Did I hear deep? Did I hear deep? Steve Montelli is in the house. Woo! Steve Montelli got the big boys. Got the big boys. He's got those. He's got nuts like an Australian elephant. What is that? Big. They're big. I like big. I like big. Can me and Steve play? Go play. Go over there and play, Mr. Obama. Steve, you have a nice time with Mr. O. He loves you, Steve Montelli. That's why I put it in the title. He loves you. You like my rabbi things? Rabbi! I am Rabbi Jew Barker in the Philippines, babe. Every time I do something like this, the YouTube takes a picture of me, by the way. Every time. My screen flashes. If I go like this, flash. Just flash. You don't see it, but I do. If I put those nuts on the screen, it takes a picture. It's taking snapshots. It's learning. It's called machine learning. Steve Montelli, the economic engine of the world has been shut down at once. That's right, Steve. Steve, I strongly suggest to go to Steve Montelli's channel and watch his channel. He says, from a medical point of view, that this doesn't make any sense. And his last two videos that he posted as another person's video, one was from Nicholson, 1968. You go watch that video on Steve Montelli's channel. You're going to get sick. Because what I said is nothing compared to what Nicholson, 1968 says. Give me 7 seconds. I need a bottle of water. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I am back. What Steve has on his channel, I would never post on my channel, ever. I don't post anything that belongs to anybody else on my channel. Nothing. There's not one video I didn't make with my own voice and my own subject matter. Or I used other people's subjects. I have never, one time in YouTube history, I posted another guy's video. And that guy posted a perfectly legal video on YouTube, and I copied it. And that was probably back in could have been 2011. Could have been 2010. And I liked the guy's video. So he said, I asked him if I could copy and paste it, and he said, yeah. What I did is I downloaded it. I made the mistake of downloading it. And I downloaded his video, and then his video, when YouTube changed the rules in 2012 about political correctness, his video became non-politically correct. So had it just been in a playlist, it would have just got removed. But I downloaded his video, and I got a strike for that. So it wasn't even my video, but I had it downloaded. So it wasn't a bad video. It was just not politically correct. It was a comedy video. So I don't download other people's shit, Steve, just to let you know. But I would not have done that. That's why Mr. Obama, he loves you, because Steve, you got the big boys posting that video on your channel. I got to tell you, I would have I don't know. I wouldn't do that. And I'm just being serious with you, Steve. If you're still there, I wouldn't. You got to be careful when you take another person's video material, even if it was okay at the time he posted it, and it was, and it is now. Even if that's okay, if that video becomes subject to YouTube's striking regulations, you'll get a strike because you downloaded the video. I just want you to know that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, or I'm not saying to take it down. I'm just letting you know that they've done this before. All right, Steve Montelli. John escaped. And when the economy restarts, it will all be different in every way. The economy's not going to restart, John. You know, we talked about that. Ain't going to happen. You get these, it just ain't going to happen. It can't, okay? They're not going to do this again. They've done it. Oh, it might restart back up. But already today, I saw a video. Already today, I saw a video saying there could be a reflux or a secondary strain. There could be a secondary strain in the near future that could be worse than this one. They are going to fuck you deep and hard. Deep and hard? Where is he? Where is that bastard? Mr. Obama, I was just using a metaphor. Metaphor? Don't be using no deep and hard metaphors. I was busy over there with Steve Montelli. Don't talk like that. I interrupted Steve and Mr. Obama. Sorry, Steve. I mean, sorry, Mr. Obama. So, no, not surprised. The rollout of centralized digital currency, a cryptocurrency, comes next, probably hooked up to our social credit scoring database. Yep, just like they did in China. Not surprised, says he's talking about the Chinese social scoring. And this is what they take into account. I was socially scored this week. I don't know how I fared on that, because I'm a very congenial person. I followed the rules. I did. I just needed cabbage and a cigarette lighter and cigarettes. And all I really needed to do, I really wanted to go out without making a video. I'm not going to make a video of an empty street. I will just tell you that I went 3 kilometers to the first store, and there wasn't a single car. And then I went 7 more kilometers to the next store. I don't remember if there were 2 or 1 person driving by in a car. I don't remember if there were 2 cars or 1 car going to the second store. 7 kilometers. So in 10 kilometers on my trip to the secondary store, I don't remember if there was 2 or 1 cars. On the way back, there was none. 0. Not a car for 10 kilometers. I rode my bicycle. And I really did. I mean, I know that people say, well, you can't ride a bicycle, you're too fat. What they would never, ever, well, they could probably ride a bicycle too, but if they want to ride a bicycle, we're not going to ride a bicycle at 5:30 in the morning when it's nice and cool. We're going to ride it in the afternoon in the hot sun. You want to run your mouth? Let's play the game. We'll play the game. Want to run your mouth that you're in better shape than me? Let's walk up and down the mountains at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to run your mouth to me? Let's swim out in the deep. And then if you falter, you falter. You could tow a buoy behind you in case you get tired. But if you stop, you faltered. You lose. You want to swim with me? You want to swim out in the deep? Then we'll swim like men, not the sissy shit in the shallow water. Plus, the shallow water has all kinds of garbage in it that gives you a rash. But you people got to understand, you that when you got people like some low IQ single unibrow piece of shit on YouTube talking about me. Steve Montelli says, as long as they're talking about me, I just want them to spell my name right. Steve Montelli. It's the best when they talk about you on other live streams. I only want them to spell my name right. That's right. I had read that before. I wasn't a psychic then. So, thank you, Steve. Steve Montelli and I agree on so many things. Now, does it matter that we ever met? And probably at this point, we're probably never going to get a chance to meet. But we agree. If I told you what's really going to happen, I only just brushed on the outskirts of what's written in stone. What's the hell? I still don't know the name of that thing where they said the rocks, where they have the 10. Okay. Okay. So the next, John Escape says, the next thing will be cash carries the virus and you will be ordered to turn it all in within 90 days for credit. The cartels won't like that. Well, they can't do that here in the Philippines because even Steve Montelli and I agree on that. We don't have the infrastructure here for removing cash anytime within the next few years. So not surprised that I heard about the guillotines many years ago as well. It was a FEMA purchase. I can't remember. It was either 8,000, 10,000, 6,000 hydraulic guillotines. You could Google it. It's probably still up there. Not surprised. Don't forget the gold. Oh, the gold. The gold. They got you believing this happy horse shit that if you buy gold from them, who owns the gold supplies and reserve, they got you believing this happy horse shit that some guy in the Philippines grocery store, in a sari-sari or a suki-suki store, is going to weigh your gold and give you groceries? Are you fucking stupid? Are you people really that fucking... Let me tell you what's going to be worth a lot more than gold. I would bet that when the shit hits the fan, and it's gonna, that rice will be worth more than gold. I would bet you would give your diamond ring and your mother's gold wedding whatever for a bag of rice. And I don't know about big bag either. You can take your gold and stick it where the sun doesn't shine. You got these fucking idiots on YouTube telling you to buy gold. It's a good investment. What are they talking about? You pay... Look, we're going to take an arbitrary thing. In 1980, I bought a gold necklace for $1,200. I went to sell it about 2 days later. I wanted to see what it was worth. It had a value of $250. It was 14 karat gold. I paid $1,200 for it. That's what it was in every jewelry store that I went to that had that style chain. And that's what I paid for it. Okay, but it only had a percentage of gold. I think it weighed 68.4 grams, whatever it was. It was more than 2 ounces. But it only had a percentage of gold in that monetary time of gold worth $255, $60, something like that. So, even though it was brand new, I only just wanted to see what it was worth. I took it off my neck. I showed it. The first thing the guy did is he scratched it with a little file. I said, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, well, I got to test the gold to see. I said, what the fuck? It says 14 karat gold. Just weigh it. Stop scratching my damn necklace. So he put some kind of acid on it, whatever color it turned. He said, yeah, that's 14. How much is it worth? He goes, I'll give you $250 for it. What do you got? Are you fucking mind? I just paid $1,200. He goes, well, we don't care what you paid for it. We're just going to scrap it. I said, you're going to take a hammer to this thing and just turn it into scrap and throw it? He goes, yeah. I said, you're a lying motherfucker is what you are. You'd polish this bad boy up and put it on display. He goes, no, we don't waste our time with that. So anyway, so that if you think, so what I paid for it, it was worth 1/4 of what I paid for it. So maybe I paid too much to begin with. But you go buy gold from any store anywhere in the world and go around and try to sell it the next day, and you pay off the street prices, you get 1/3 or 1/2 of what it was worth. So you want to invest in gold, you dumb fuck, you have to pay $500 for a necklace, and then the gold price has to triple before you can make a profit. And gold hasn't tripled in 20 years. So you stupid bastards that are investing in gold and think you're going to go to a supermarket in America or the Philippines and somebody's going to give you food for gold, you're out of your fucking mind. Steve Montelli. Okay, so thank you, not surprised. Steve Montelli. John, you know the drill on the cash. It's dirty. It must go. That's right, Steve. Of course. And not only that, Steve, but what Steve said is true. Money is one of the dirtiest products, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to give you, for instance, you fucking people out there. There isn't another guy on YouTube. There's just a few of us that's going to tell you why cash is so dirty. All right, so you stupid bastards. Go to a restaurant. You got a girl that's been wiping her nose and handling dirty dishes and pots and glasses with fucking people spitting on their plate and sneezing or blowing their nose on the tissues. And you watch this fucking waitress. Watch what she does. She takes the plate with the tissues and the forks and the knives, and she goes like this, and she takes the spoons out, and she throws the tissues in the garbage. And she, you're watching the bitch do this. And then she takes the plate and she puts it on a tray and she maybe puts it on the counter. Then she turns around and she reaches in from behind her back over here, in the small of her back, right next to her ass, and she takes her book down so she can take your order. Then, now that she's got it in the small of her back where your back sweats from your neck down, and when you pass gas, the gas goes on her pad. So right away, she's got fart gas, ass fluids, back sweat, snot, bacteria from all the different things she touched. She touches the back of the chair where people have been sweating on that chair for 2 or 3 months that it's not clean. She takes the rags with the snot on them out of her plate, throws them in the garbage, and then she grabs her pad with her pen to write down your order. But before she does that, she goes and grabs 4 menus from the rack. So all that shit that she's got on her hands and on her book and on her pen and from the back, the small of her back, the sweat and the ass gas, all the ass gas and the sweat, that all goes on the menus, and then she hands you the menus. All right? But wait, it gets better. So now you eat, and she takes all your snotty rags and wet, disgusting, germ-filled bacterium plates that you spit in, or you blew your nose on the rag and the snot from your... Then what does she do? She goes and throws all that shit out, and then she comes back and she gives you the bill. The fucking bill. She writes it out. She writes the bill out. And what do you give her? You give her cash. So now all the shit she got, the ass gas and the back sweat and the drip stains from down the middle of the spine, she got that shit on the cash. But wait, where did you go before you paid her? You went to the bathroom. And everybody that you smelled in the bathroom, all the hamut, as they say in the Philippines, the ass gas, if you're smelling it, you're breathing in little particles of it, whatever it is. So now, and then you morons, you wash your hands and then you grab the bathroom door where all the people that didn't wash their hands, and in the Philippines, that's many, all the people that didn't wash their hands, they also grabbed the doorknob. So now all the shit, all the stuff that they got on their hands, all the bacteria from them not washing their hands or throwing half a bucket of water on when they should have used 4 buckets, now that stuff is on the doorknob, and you grab the doorknob, and then you go out and you take the cash out of your pocket, put that bacterium and virus strain on the money, and then you hand the money to her, and she gets the money from the cash register from the previous people from a different country with a different set of germs on it, and she gives you change. The fuck? This is a filthy world we live in. But more than anything else, that ass gas coming up through the small of her back, you gotta understand, ass gas is lighter than air. It comes up. So when she passes ass gas, it goes straight up into the menu. A lot of them keep the menu back there, but it certainly goes up into the bill pad. You got to be careful. Ass gas is a very serious problem here in the Philippines. It's a worldwide epidemic, ass gas. Everybody seems to be passing ass gas. And ass gas is nothing more than small particles of fecal tissue that are lighter than air. So when you're smelling ass gas, it's almost the same thing as licking an ass gas factory. Almost the same thing. Not the same, but mentally it's different. But physically, the ass gas that passes into your nasal system is the same ass gas that you breathe in the bathrooms, and also the same ass gas that you would be if you were doing a beautiful woman, and the same type of thing. If she farted when you was in bed, that would be the same thing. You'd be, if you're breathing in her ass gas, you're breathing in little tiny particles of fecal tissue. Now, the more you love her, the less corrosive it'll be to your brain. But once you stop loving them and they pass ass gas, you go, what the fuck? Are you serious? What the fuck did you eat? But when you love them, you go, that's all right, babe, I like ass gas. And a lot of people like ass gas anyway. There are people that just like ass gas. I don't know what you call those people, but they got a phobia for everything. So there must be, Steve Montelli, maybe you know, what is the phobia for people that like to smell other people's ass gas? Can you tell us that? Steve Montelli is the go-to guy when it comes to ass gas. Take my word for it. And we'll go back to the comments now. John says, like I said, it's dead presidents. It's paper with dead presidents. Although in the Philippines, that's not going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Yep, me and Steve agree on that. Correct, Steve. That will be hard in the Philippines. Two Bear says, I skimmed over ID 2020. What they are trying to promote is digitizing all the information, privacy concerns, notwithstanding about each and every person. The computer age was supposed to reduce paper. Steve Montelli says ID 2020 is going to be a tough one. How do you digitize every human? Well, thank you for reading that, Two Bears. So, but that's not what I asked you to read, actually. I asked you to read Agenda 2021. All right, so maybe you're going to read both of them. But thank you for at least reading ID 2020. Agenda 2021 is what I really wanted you to read. Maybe you'll have time for that later. Okay, so they want to tag all of us just like chips they put into our pets. Ah, okay, there you go. That's the digitation. That's ID 2021. Exactly, Two Bears, says Steve Montelli. John Escape says nanotechnology, and that's true. Vaccination is just an excuse to chip you. And that's where they're headed with this. Steve is in the medical profession. Two Bears, I would imagine you guys know who each other is, but Steve Montelli has spent most of his adult life in the medical profession. So if he says something concerning medicine, hospitals, or doctors, he's probably correct, Two Bears, just to give you some background on Steve Montelli. It can be used to track you, says Two Bears. The chip could be electronically spoofed for nefarious purposes, so an absolute no regarding to any implanted chips from me. So, okay, so that's another thing. There is no way to know. Okay, so what Two Bears just said is that the chip, it's a digital code that transfers from the cash register to the chip in your hand and back. So if the chip in your hand says you have money in the bank, then that's it. But the cash register knows what your code is. So all you'd have to be, I mean, it would be complicated, but all you'd have to do is somehow break the code to get into the code of the cash register, and you could take that guy's money. And that guy has no way of proving it wasn't him that took his money out of his bank account. Thank you, Two Bears, for that piece of information. Anyone Bishop 777, anyone that likes China is not welcome in America. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. No, I got to tell you, Trump is way worse. Look, you got to look at the bigger picture. Trump is a puppet, a New World Order puppet. China, Trump, not Russia, but South Korea, North Korea, Japan, Italy, Germany, not Switzerland. Most countries are taking orders from something. We'll leave it at something. China is not the problem. Never was. I used to think Fauci, Steve has said this all right, so Bishop, thank you for the comment. And welcome to the machine, Bishop 777. I don't agree with that, but you're entitled to that opinion, because some people are of that opinion. But China making this thing, nope. It's already been proven by the Russian colonel, the head of the Russian doctors, for military doctors, the entire head of Russia's military in the doctor division, the equivalent of Fauci, absolutely laid out how the bug was genetically mutated using 4 different mutations of the RNA, not the DNA, but the RNA of the molecule of the bug itself, on 4 different modifications to get it to where it is now. And this is just stage 1. They can make it, modify it again where it's a super virus. Okay, so Steve said, I used to think Fauci was a good guy. My opinion has changed over the past few weeks. And John Escape says Fauci is the Antichrist. Bishop 77, the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, all right, so these, that's right, I can't believe I forgot the name of that. And I really did forget the name of it. The stones were put in place in Georgia, and they're called the Georgia Guidestones. And it's not a big monolith like the pyramid or anything like that. It's probably 16, 17 feet high, if it's that. I don't even know how big. It's not very big. But supposedly, they were put in overnight. The foundations were set and the stones went in overnight. Who knows if that's true? But either way, it lays out the protocols of the New World Order and what they want to happen by the year 2030, including 90% population reduction. Thank you for that piece of information, Bishop 777. Thank you for that. Georgia Guidestones, the mark of the beast. Yep, the Georgia Guidestones are the generalization of Agenda 2021 and 2030, and the chip is the mark of the beast. That's right. Now, according to the Bible. That's why I always say that the Bible was written by an advanced race of beings that has controlled this world for billions of years, not millions, billions, and has created civilizations like we have now, and then destroyed them and then rebuilt them for whatever reason. I don't know the reason. I wish I did. If I did, I would tell you. I run a legitimate scam here. I just want you to know. Alpha Zebra was told the story of this pandemic 10 years ago. It was planned out much further back than that. However, So not surprised. Alpha Zebra. I've never even heard that. Alpha Zebra. All of the shit is being put into effect. That I know. So whatever Alpha Zebra is, so many people have said this. This is going back to when I first started writing my book. Back in the 90s, I was reading this stuff. I'm going, they're not going to do. And then I kept reading. When I was writing my book, I had to research stuff that goes far beyond the dollar bill. I researched what words meant 3,000 years ago, what Bible verses were consistent and what weren't, compared to other Bibles and different religions. I had studied a lot of shit. And this stuff I read back in the 80s, I was reading about this stuff. Steve Montelli says, people do not like the truth. Event 201 is happening right now. We're in the middle of it. And that was to lock down all of New York City by a concerted effort between all police and political entities in case of a pandemic, and a pandemic more specifically, the coronavirus. Not surprised, not surprised, not surprised. I'm just going to say not surprised. Says Mr. Fazio, you know the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's like trying to tell the brainwashed sheeple about what's really going on. Yeah, it ain't going to happen. They won't see it until they do it for themselves. That's correct. Let me get some water. I got the water before, but I never drank it. Oh, Steve Montelli, are you still here? I have something I want to teach you. I really do. Are you still here? Please say yes, you're still there, and then wait. I'm going to go straight to the bottom of the comments if you say yes. Yep, they're asking people to rat children out right now. Steve Montelli says people can never see the chemtrails on there until they're ready to see them. Bill James says Michael is telling the truth. They are trying to kill us. I watched some videos on the spray planes being loaded. The Air Force is in charge of this. You are on your own. Event 201, John, escape. Coronavirus is ushering in a new world order. Steve Montelli, I'm going to the bottom. Are you okay? You're here. Let me tell you, Steve, I just discovered this for myself about 3 weeks ago, and I keep forgetting to tell you on your live stream. Okay, so you know how when you're reading the comments on your page and you are highlighting the comment to go down to the next comment, right? You know how that happens. Okay, so, and you keep losing track because it keeps going to the bottom of the page. You don't have to do it that way. You can go to the sidebar. So let's just say there are 10 comments in that section that you want to read. You don't have to do it by scrolling down little by little by little. You can read to the bottom comment without touching the page, and then go to the sidebar below the slide bar, and just, you can either click in the sidebar below the slide bar, in the sidebar below the slide bar, or you can go on your computer, if you're on a computer, and push page down. So I know you work from a cell phone, but you can just click in the right hand slide bar. Just if you have the ability to click, you can click it. Now I don't know if you have that ability, but I just want everybody to know that I kept losing track. So now I only go to the side and just touch it on my tablet, and it just goes to the next 10 comments. And it leaves, if there's 10 comments here, well, when it goes up, it leaves the last comment. You get 10 new comments, but it leaves this comment. Then when you go up, it leaves this comment. You get 10 more. So if you're working from a computer or a tablet or a smartphone that has that option to click the sidebar, you just click the sidebar one time and it should work. You do it from a computer. I always get kicked to the bottom. I'll try it. Yeah, well, okay, so then even if you do get kicked to the bottom, but if you click that sidebar page down on your computer, if you click that and it goes to the bottom, you don't have to scroll up, right, fucking highlighting the words. You can just click page up, page up, page up, page up, page up, page up. Just click page up. It could be 6 pages, could be 10 on your live streams, but then you can scan it quick. You're not trying to highlight shit and read shit that's highlighted or not highlighted. You can just page up and scan 10 comments, and then you page up again. So if you have an idea where you are, you just page up, boom, 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 like 4 pages, and you're up to where you are. But I just learned how to do that a couple of weeks ago. I know it sounds like a simple thing, but I've been trying to scroll down around the comments, and then when it goes to the bottom, I gotta spend, like you, 2, 3, 4 minutes finding out where you are. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for staying long enough to get that out. I've been trying to remember to tell you that shit. Simple thing like that. Okay, rice, baby. Okay, so somebody's agreeing with me. All right, so okay, so Steve Montelli, a man of stature. So Steve I haven't been to your channel today. I think I was there yesterday morning. Bill James says Michael's telling the truth about the chemtrails. Obama is anti-Israel. That's bullshit. He did appear to be anti-Israel, but he was not, actually. Steve Montelli, I took the videos down already. I always you can attribute them to the creator of the video, but if you have them loaded to your page and Nicholson gets a strike on his video, every person that has that video loaded to their page is going to get a strike on that video. That's just the way it works, but thank you for telling me that. Tennessee's open for business. I don't know what that means. Bill James, do not take the test. Most will test positive. You will be on lockdown for 14 days and tracked for the remainder of your life. This will be turned over. You're going to test positive because the original genome of the virus is the common cold. That's my understanding. Justin, Tyson beef and Smithfield pork will shut down to test 500 workers. Here we go. The riots will start because the food, John is saying that there's going to be food shortages. Tyson beef, in case you don't know, and Smithfield pork are 2 of the major suppliers of processed, frozen, and refrigerated foods. Tyson Foods is big in frozen foods. When the food shortages begin, that's when the real show starts. Going to get crazy, that's correct. It will start very soon, now with these factories shutting down. The virus is a pathway to the mark of the beast. I believe that. Steve Montelli, Bishop, it's really mark of the beast stuff. This is true. Rice, baby, rice. Rice is going to be worth more than gold. John, who knows the second coming of Christ or the 4 horsemen of apocalypse will ride down from heaven at this point? All is fair game. Well, the beings that control this flat earth that we live on could do that as a miracle type of thing. I mean, they have powers that go far beyond anything we can comprehend. Now, Two Bear says, if you want to invest in gold, the only way is to buy gold ingots, not jewelry. Okay. All right. I got that. I'm even going to run with that. You got a gold ingot. Okay, you got a gold ingot. You got one. You got 2. You got 3. They're small. They got to get tested. Nobody's going to take them. How many supermarkets do you know that have a goldsmith in the supermarket waiting to take your gold inglet. And then what if, okay, so you can buy them, and I don't know anything about it. I don't own any. I never owned any. I never looked at it buying one, so I don't know how big they are. But let's just say you have them in $20 pieces, right? Well, before they give you $20 for them, they're going to scratch off a little bit of dust. They're going to take the file and hit it with the file. After it's used 10 or 15 times, it ain't going to be $20 anymore. It's going to be $15 or $14. Every time they scratch off a little bit of dust and test it. It's just a shit system. But how many jewelers are there in the freaking world? What? Half of a 1/10% of people in the world are jewelers? It ain't going to happen. Two bears. It just is not going to happen. What are you going to do? Buy a house with gold? You're not. First of all, they can tell you they did it in 1934. They said it's illegal to own gold. You have to turn it in. So everybody turned it in at $35 an ounce. And then all of a sudden it was worth $80 an ounce just a few months later. But it was illegal to have it in your possession. So if you had bought it and you were registered as a registered gold buyer, you had to give it back at $35 an ounce. You paid $25, they gave you $35, and then a few months later it was worth $85. It was one of the biggest scandals in history. Moving on. Bishop says the Bible says that gold will be worthless in end times. Because they already know. This is why I keep saying these beings that wrote the Bible, and it wasn't God. Stop with the happy horse shit that God wrote the Bible. It ain't possible. When you read it, when you research it, it ain't possible that God could know all of this shit unless he planned all this shit out. And why would God plan all this shit out? Oh, right, the testing of the spirit. It's a lot of happy horse shit. I'm not the least bit religious, says Steve Montelli, but was raised an Adventist. Oh boy, there's a lot of criminals in that organization. So I know all the dogma. This is mark of the beast stuff happening now. The 7-day Adventists, so they're big into the mark of the beast shit. Read Matthew 24 on the end of time, says Bishop 7:7. John Escape says, yup. Well, the beast and the government can kiss my white hairy ass. All right, look, John, let's get something straight right now. Me and you got to get something straight. I'm going to let you send me the ballot buying boxes with the regulator, the decor regulator. I'm going to let you send me two of the masks with the 3 panels and the extra snorkels, the 12 jars, the 12 5-pound tubs of 5-pound tubs of peanut butter. I'm going to let you send me the Schmucker's jelly, the grape, and the strawberry, and the 3 down pillows and the 3 my pillows. And I'm going to also let you send me the generators. But if you keep this shit up, talking about your hairy white ass, you're going to be bringing people to this channel looking to see what your hairy white ass looks like. I'm going to tell you to take those 2 ballot buying boxes and stick them where the sun don't shine. You can't. I don't want you to attract people that are going to fantasize on your hairy white ass. In no time at all, this place will be full of trolls. Stop talking about your hairy white ass. Before, in a matter of minutes, there are probably people all over the internet talking about John Escape and his hairy white ass. There's probably people stopping everything that they're doing right now to come to my channel. Hopefully you're going to put a picture up or something like that. You got no idea. When you start talking about hairy white asses, you got no idea the kind of people you're going to start attracting. So stop that shit right now, please. Otherwise, don't send me the ballot buying boxes. Thank you. Yeah, John says when they take a look, Steve Montelli, I was thinking about all the filthy 20s that the jeepney drivers shove in between their fingers. Yeah, baby. This money is dirty. That's why I keep telling you people, it's better for you to give me your money than it is for you to the other way around. I run a legitimate scam here. John says, yeah, when they take a piss on the wall and then hand you change and you smile back, LOL. That's right, Steve Montelli. Michael, you or Lewis Black? I don't know who's funnier. If we got Steve Montelli's attention, if we have his attention, we have achieved YouTube greatness. Thank you, Steve. Salamat. Security, expat preppers. Security state using the virus to implement Orwellian nightmare. That's right. Expat prepper. He has a wrench and he has posted a link. And I allow expat prepper to post any links he wants, but rest assured his links are clean. Okay, but this is a YouTube link, so you don't have to worry about it. But expat prepper has my blessing to post any link that he wants. Thank you, expat prepper. Bishop, 5G technology, RFID. That's another reason that they want to be able to track you more closely with 5G, even if it's not dangerous to your health, which I think it is. And so does Steve. 5G technology will allow them to track you from house to house everywhere you go. Bishop says CERN has opened up the pits of hell. I've heard that. Now, and I'm not even being facetious. I'm not religious to the point of thinking there is no little old guy with a white beard judging everybody singularly at the gates of heaven. But there is forces of good and evil. Okay. They exist. They exist in the spirit world. They exist in a plane of consciousness that you can achieve either by selling your soul to an entity called Satan or something like that, or moving to a higher plane of consciousness and understanding why Christ thought the way he did. However, those entities exist in other realms that we're not familiar with. They don't disappear because you can't see them. You just don't see them because you're not part of either one of those things. You're not meant to be. Most people are not meant to be. But CERN may have opened up places where those entities have reality. That's a possibility and allows them. But I don't know that they need CERN to get here. I know people that have sold their souls. It's not hard to do. It doesn't take days or weeks or years. You can do it in 5 minutes. And if it's not a complicated process, anybody can do it. Anybody that's worthy of a satanic force taking over your soul, if you made the proper request, it would come. It would come too. I'm not being facetious about this. It will come. It will talk to you. You will make a deal with it, and you will be successful if you want to be successful. But you have sold your soul to those things. So I don't know. I believe that. I've actually had some strange experiences. Bishop 77 says, Steve, famine is upon us. Steve says, I'll give it a try. I do it from a computer. I always get kicked to the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Yaakov, Abdul, and Mohammed. Now, he's a gentleman that's been on my live streams for a very long time. Welcome back. Okay, well, okay, so now what you're saying, Yaakov, Abdul, Mohammed, what you're saying, the men from Globe were here on the 11th, I think, on the 11th or 12th of this month. They took every connection apart. But what I'll do is I will take a bronze brush to the exterior fittings. I have a very fine bronze brush, not like a rust scraping brush. I have a very fine bronze brush for cleaning gold and things like that. I'll take that and try it. Thank you, Yaakov. Let me write it down. I wrote it down. Thank you. Okay, so I have the brush outside. Dot Bishop 77. Jesus is Lord. Jesus was a very powerful spiritual being, as close to God or God per se as possible. I agree. Thank you. Patrick Barker, astral projection. That's very realistic. Astral projection. Astral projection is as real as God or Satan, by the way, and you know that. Yes, that will work because the screen has glitches and turns the live vid green screen for a second. I've seen that. I thought they were taking pictures of me. I said it earlier. I thought when I did a certain hand signal or put the big Steve Montelli boys on the screen, they were tracking me with pictures. Look at this. Look at this. Mr. Obama. Look, Steve Montelli wants to say goodbye. Oh, I love Steve Montelli. I love him. How much do you love him? I would love him forever. Me and him and Mike, Michelle. I could bring, if Steve Montelli would say yes, I would take Steve Montelli to Martha's Vineyard. I live there now. Steve, if you ever come, please stop by with boys like that. You just tell them Obama sent you. Okay, Mr. Obama, thank you very much. So, Steve, he said, when you get to Martha's Vineyard at the gate, you take them boys, just show them the boys in the hands, right? That's right, Michael Fazio. All right, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say goodbye. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some serious thought. He just saw the green. Yeah, as soon as I actually think they're taking a snapshot of what I'm doing. I can't put it any other way. Every time I put some oddball thing, like I have a lot of oddball shit, but yeah, like this, right? I take this light. If I hold it down, sometimes it'll take a picture. Nope, not now. It looks like it's taking a snapshot, like when you're making a video, the video camera takes a picture every 10 seconds or something like that. No, it didn't do it now. Maybe that gentleman is right, but about the contacts. But I will try that. I don't know why it's doing it. I mean, the men from Globe came. What you say to do, they even had a tool to stick into the contacts. And they took the ground wire off and polished up the ground rod. And 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago, they ran 780 feet of wire from the main road to the pole here, and one run, not no splices. They said that I had a bad connection in between the pole, the main run, and the house. And I said, well, I'm not. I paid once before. I paid Globe. It wasn't much. It was like 800 pesos, $16 for the wire. So they said, we'll just put another wire in. I said, well, okay. I mean, if you think that's going to help, but it didn't help. Nothing. When the man came back in the house, nothing changed. When he gave me a new modem, after he put the new wire in, nothing changed. When he went out and cleaned the ground wire, nothing changed. The only time it changed is when he called up tech support through Globe, and they reset the modem, and then it worked for about a day. Then it didn't work anymore. Then they came back the next day, and they did all the testing again. They still couldn't get it to work. Now, what they did was, my computer just won't work. I mean, it just shuts off all by itself. I just had, this morning, I just had Windows open with 2 documents, one for the notes for here and one for my video files. And I pressed save to save the tags for the video files, and my Word just went off, which has nothing to do with the modem. But when I pressed to go back to the video files, my computer shut off. When I pressed the tab, I don't know what's going on. It started, that type of stuff started a couple of days ago. We'll just leave it at that. But before that, it was shutting down about once every week to 10 days. It would just shut off right in the middle, just like it just flashed now. It would just shut off. I don't know why it shuts off. I don't know. But thank you for trying to help me with that, Abdul. I appreciate that. All right, let's see before. Yes, that will work. That was hella funny, LOL. Yeah? All right, make a roll, tape it, and that makes a choke filter. Okay, so like this, make a roll. What you're talking about, Abdul, is you're talking about canceling out the flux in the wire, if I remember my electronics properly. What you're talking about is by making a roll, you're almost creating a coaxial cable. Am I correct about that? I would think, because the flux doesn't have a chance to multiply. It breaks up. That if I'm correct, you let me know. In a circle, yes, flux, electromagnetic force. Yeah, I'm a licensed A&P jet mechanic, so I remember that from ignition wires coming from the magneto at 50,000 volts to the spark plugs in the reciprocating engines. We had to use coaxial cables, and if they didn't have coaxial cables, you couldn't get a radio signal or a bad radio signal. It makes a magnetic choke. Negatives cancel positives. Okay, I got it. A circle. So what I'll do is I'm gonna run that wire outside this afternoon. I think I'm gonna do some painting. It depends on what the tide is doing more than anything else, because I'm gonna go swimming. Okay, I had the last video just finished loading about an hour ago. So thank you, Yaakov Abdul Muhammad. Salamat. Thank you very much. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go. It's been 3.5 hours, and we have given the trolls on YouTube just think of it like this. We have given the trolls on YouTube, the small-minded, small hands, small feet, small intellect, so that they can, with the small hands and the small feet, they can save money on gloves and boots for using small hands and small gloves and small feet. And we have given them, not only have we provided the trolls of YouTube entertainment, we have given them topic matter for their video, live streams, and or videos. We have given them topics to talk about in the comment section. And in case they had nothing else to do with their miserable little lives and little hands and little feet, in case they had nothing else to do, we have given them 3.5 hours of pure entertainment to go review and to take things from, and to tag and to video and to make comments and to notation and timestamps and all that other shit. We have given them, we are providing them with almost like a hobby, something to do with their worthless little lives, little hands and little feet, and singular unibrows. Who's better than me, baby? Who's better than me? You're most welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Steve. Thank you, John. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Yaakov Abdul Muhammad. You always tell me just call you Abdul, but I like that name. Patrick Barker, Salamat. Bishop 777, thank you. Steve Montelli, thank you. Chi Corsairs, thank you. Expat Prepper, Salamat. John Escape, thank you very much. Salamat. Two Bears, thank you very much for taking the time to read ID 2020. And maybe you read Agenda 2021, maybe not. I don't know, but I hope you get to read that. Yaku Abdul Muhammad, a comment. Rice, baby, rice. That's going to be worth more than gold. He's right. Not surprised. Thank you very much for coming. Bill James, do not take the test. Do not take the test. You will test positive and you will be locked down for 14 days and you will be tracked for the rest of your life. Good information, Bill James. Thank you for stopping. Michael is telling the truth, says Bill James. See, all the smart people of YouTube, even that we haven't been talking about this, we all know this has been coming. But now you're in it. So now, what more can they do? Really, what more can they do? They're doing everything they wanted to do. I mean, Steve Montelli hinted about some of the stuff he talked about for a long time. But now they're locking everybody down. It's time to start telling the truth. And then, again, the egregious fucking motherfucking powers that be putting me into a box where I get 12 people get a notification of my live stream, or they just happen upon my live stream by accident. 12 fucking people? Really? Out of 20,000 subscribers? And you got these fucking douchebags on YouTube saying, oh, they just don't like going to your channel because your content sucks. Probably a percentage of the people don't like my shit. And who gives a fuck what they like? Who gives a fuck what you like? I have some of the best content that's ever been produced on YouTube and or Google and or the internet. So fuck all you people with your little fucking minds, your little fucking hands, and your little fucking feet. Just because you can wear small gloves, small boots, and everything else about you, including your fucking IQ, is small. Don't fucking put that shit on me that people don't come to my channel because they don't like my videos. Fuck all you people that believe that. You people, that's why you have the low IQ. Not single digits, but low 50s at best. All right, so let's go. I'll go up through the comments, see if I missed anybody. We have, of course, Chi Corsairs, Bishop, John Escape again. Not a lot of people came to my live stream. Two Bears, thank you. Not a lot of people came. And then I even abused John Escape, but he needed to be abused. He needed to be abused. This guy wants to send me shit. He bought all that shit. He's buying all that shit I gave him the list for yesterday. I didn't send him my address yet. I don't have to tell him where the shit is. He could buy 2 masks, 2 snorkels, 2 generators, 40 jars of fucking peanut butter and fucking jelly and pillows and Dacor lenses and fins and all that other happy horse shit. I just won't tell him where I live. They'll have to throw that shit out. I don't have to be nice to you people. I run a legitimate scam. You need to understand that. I don't understand why you don't understand. Big E, thanks for stopping by. Let's see, who else? Lyrish Israel Caregiver, thank you for stopping by. Salamat. Okay, yeah, 12 people showed. Sex Pat Hunter, and you got shit canned, so, and Scott Del Fuego, the great wordsmith, Big E and Sabu, and Page High, Dr. Page High. Okay, so we're going to go to the bottom. I pushed the button. Catch you later, Michael. Patrick Barker, thank you for stopping by, Patrick. Have a good day, says Steve Montelli. You're most welcome. AI has kicked in and we are being directed to restructure, says Charles. See, Charles knows. The Barge video of 1976 came up, but not the live dream. Yep, the live stream. Yeah. You can put you used to be able to put my name in Google and it would only go to me. Now it would be the top of the Google search. It would be the top videos on YouTube with Michael Fazio. And it would be, if you pushed $1 bill videos, you couldn't even find on the first 3 pages somebody else's dollar bill videos. Now it'll register 1 in every 20 or 25 videos. Fuck me. Fuck you. Not you, but fuck you. Fuck me, fuck them. Fuck me, fuck them. Fuck me, fuck them. They want you dead. Get it through your fucking head. They want you dead. I'm Ping Permi. Salamat. Much love, everybody. You're going to need it. Just watch what they do next. Yeah, I believe you, Bill. Well, I don't think it's me per se. But thank you, Bill, James. Thank you very much. I don't know what the hell happened there. Oh, I know what happened. What the hell is going on here? Oh, wait, my screen opened up. Okay, yeah, don't worry about it, Bill. Thank you very much. Salamat. Maybe next time. You have a nice day. I'm Ping Permi. Oh, remember, if I got the hat on, I'm scamming your ass, baby. I am the world's #1 scammer. I run a legitimate scam, baby. I'm Ping Permi.